Welcome to the channel and welcome to this 2,000 point match play game between Space Wolves and Thousand Suns. Okay, so in the latest Psychic Awakening book, Ritual of the Damned, the Thousand Suns have had an upgrade. They get to pick cults and they have new stratagems, new psychic powers and shenanigans going on. The Thousand Suns have got even more shenanigan, that's the word, than they were beforehand. So we thought we'd do something special. We thought we'd put them up against their old nemesis, the heroes, the good guys, the Sons of Russ, the Space Wolves, and fighting off in this epic battle between Space Wolves and Thousand Suns is Stylus and Monkey. Say hi, Stylus and Monkey.
Hi, Stylus and Monkey.
Right, so what we're doing is 2018 chapter approved supplies from above. It's Vanguard Strike deployment. That's the one where the diagonal goes down the middle of the board. Space Wolves are on that side, right? That side?
Yes.
Yes, Space Wolves are over there. And you get to drop first, your entire army first. Then the Thousand Suns will counter deploy. And then Monkey will get to choose whether he goes first or second. That's how this one works. And there are 4 objectives on the table which you start scoring from the start of the second battle round. So no points in the first battle round. And then in battle round 2, for every objective marker that you control, you get a point. And there are 4 objective markers. There are 4 Wolfen roaming around this battle grid, and in supplies from above, these objective markers can start moving. They will move up to 3 inches left, right, and all over the place. The Thousand Suns have unleashed a trap for the Space Wolves. The Space Wolves are here to recover the Wolfen. What is going on? You guys came up with this.
Yeah, so it was, it's sort of a hangover from a previous battle that they both had between the Court of Miracles and the Veridal, which are my Space Wolf force.
Nice.
There were 4 kind of Wolfen left on the field.
4 were there?
Yeah.
Nice.
And
they
so
were captured, shamelessly treated, and have mutated now into these wolf beasts.
Because you said something about the Canis Helix and something I didn't know about the Wolfen. Tell me that thing.
So my favourite law, the old part of the law, is that it's like a safety net inside the Space Force. So if ever they were to turn to chaos, the Canis Helix kicks in and turns them into beasts. So they're not sentient beings; they're just beasts. They roam around, they feed, they hunt, they fight. Okay. So that's the safety net to stop them from turning to chaos.
Poor Space Wolves can never turn to chaos. It's very sad.
So Stylus's Thousand Suns have got hold of some Space Wolves, and you tried to turn these guys.
We did.
Into your spawn, because you're rather famous on DZTV for turning characters into spawn. I think you've done it to me, you've done it to AP Burn. Has he done it to you yet? Got one of your characters and turned it into a spawn?
Because you can't turn Space Wolves into spawn.
Oh, that's true.
He's trying.
Yeah.
I'll do
my best.
Because some of your conversions into spawns,
cabinet.
your trophy cabinet, So now we've got these guys instead. And you've tried, so you've let these guys go on this planet, and the Space Wolves are here to recover them. They're fallen brothers.
Yeah.
So supplies from above, 2,000 point match play game. I think it's a point per objective. Let me check. Yes, it's a point at the start of each battle round for each objective marker that you can control. Normal rules apply. Plus first strike, slay the Warlord, line breaker. That's how this game is going to rock down. So the Thousand Suns versus the Space Wolves, and we get to see some of the Thousand Suns' new toys. So let's go and have a look at these armies. Right, this is 2,000 points on the nose of Thousand Suns. It's a dual battalion, which is 13 command points to play with. Now, Thousand Suns, for those that don't know, loads and loads of sorcerers in here. They have the All is Dust rule on the Rubikai. Yes. So when they're hit with damage 1 weapons, they get +1 to their saving throw, which also affects their vulnerable saves as well. Any other Thousand Suns general shenanigans that we need to know?
Their psychic powers have a 6-inch extra range. So smites are now 24, other powers +6.
Okay. And you've got 2 battalions.
2 battalions.
2 different cults from the Ritual of the Damned book. What cults are we looking at?
We are going with the Cult of Time,
Yes.
which is kind of dividing line. This is Cult of Time.
Right.
And we're going with the Cult of Duplicity.
For these guys.
Which is those guys.
Right. Cult stuff doesn't affect Zangors, though?
Doesn't affect Zangors, no.
No. So what do you get from your cult?
Right. I'll start off. I'm paying 2 extra command points.
Right.
1 for the Magister Stratum, so I get an extra Warlord trait.
Okay.
And 1 for the Relics of Thousand Suns, so I get an extra Relic. So I'm taking his cult relic and warlord trait, and their cult relic and warlord trait. So I'm taking as many toys as I can.
Nice. So we're going to get to see the cult of time relic and warlord trait in the cult.
Correct.
Okay, I like it. Who's your warlord, though? Shall we?
My actual warlord is this guy, Arakurapathrin.
Right.
First among the cult of the Court of Miracles.
Okay.
He's my warlord trait, and he, being part of the cult of Duplicity,
yes,
has the trait the Duplicitous Tactician.
That sounds duplicitous.
It is duplicitous. At the start of the first battle round, I can select D3 Cult of Duplicity units from the army.
These guys.
Which is any of these guys, even the Spawn and the Mutilith are Cult of Duplicity units.
Right.
And I can remove them from the battlefield and redeploy them.
Okay.
So
redeployment shenanigans.
Redeployment shenanigans.
And who's got the relic and what does it do?
The relic is, let me just take a look, is called the Perfidious Tome. He's got his relic as well.
Okay.
At the start of the battle round, every battle round it appears, roll 1d6.
Yep.
On a 1, my opponent gains a command point. On a 4 or more, I gain a command point.
Really? At the start of every battle round, on a 1 you could be given Monkey some command points.
I could, yeah.
Ooh, but a 4+ for you.
Yes. So
it's a 50-50 chance for you, a 1 in 6 chance for Monkey.
Indeed.
Okay, I like it.
It's crazy.
So you've got 2 sorcerers in this detachment here, one on the disc, one on the thing, loads of psychic powers that you're rocking. We'll get to them as the game continues, but what is their new cult psychic power? Because basically the way the cults work is, it's in addition, right?
This is the great thing. You don't have to make a sacrifice. Every psyker in the unit, so it's these 2, plus these 3 units here, because there's a psyker leading them, each of them, get an extra psychic power of the cult. In addition
to smite and the psychic power they know.
Yes.
So the sorcerer here knows the psychic power and smite, he knows the psychic power and smite, and they get all this, specifically this cult power as well.
Just this cult power, yeah.
Okay.
They all know it. And
okay.
It's a beaut. I think it's the best one in the book. Sorcerer's Facade. Select 1 friendly Cult of Duplicity unit within 6 inches.
Okay, that could be the Mutilith Beast again. It could be a...
Could be a spawn, could be a tank.
Could be a tank full of dudes, okay.
Remove it from the battlefield and set it up anywhere more than 9 inches away from enemy models. It counts as having moved.
Whoa. So you've got 5 guys that know a spell that they can cast on anything. Is it only in that detachment they can only cast it on these guys?
Only on themselves, yeah, because they're all the Cult of Duplicity. So
it's got to be
these
part
guys,
of the cult.
different cult, those guys there.
Sure, but if you had a Land Raider with Terminators in it, or even a Rhino full of just Rubikai in it, you could cast it on the Rhino and move it and put it down 9 inches away from the enemy.
You could.
Or some Havocs or something. Okay, cool. So they've got all that spell in addition. We won't go through all their individual spells because there's many guys here. But in this detachment, I can see 3 units of Rubikai.
Yeah, so Exalted Sorcerer being the Warlord on a disc. He's a regular sorcerer.
Yes.
1, 2, 3 units of Rubikai, each with 1 Warp Flamer, and just the regular guys have Inferno Bolt Guns. They're -2 generally AP.
Yes.
4 Spawn at the back.
1 minute. Who's this guy in Custodes' Spawn armour?
You remember Rhubarb?
I remember you turning one of my HQ's Custodes into a... Yeah,
he's joined the band.
Yeah, okay. That was my Warlord, god damn it.
There's also a Dark Angel and a Mordian there, so you know.
Is there?
Everyone's joined the party.
Where's the Dark... Oh, there's the Dark Angel.
There's the Dark Angel.
Yeah,
There's his Ritual of the Damned for him.
Yeah.
There's a Mordian at the back.
With the helm... Okay.
Spawn Tenant.
Spawn. So 2 units of Spawn and a Mutilith Vortex Beast.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's them.
Okay. The other cult. The other cult is the what now?
The Cult of Time.
Okay.
Okay, so there's...
This will only affect cult units.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Zango don't count, but these 5 are Cult of Time units.
Okay.
The psychic power that these 4 know...
Yes, in addition to
the other ones, is called Time Flux. It's a warp charge of 5, so it's really easy to cast. It's a Cult of Time unit. It's got to be infantry within 6 inches of the psyker. You can return 1 destroyed model from that unit to the battlefield with all its wounds remaining, placing it in unit coherency. If I roll it above 9 or more on the test, it will return up to D3 destroyed models.
So 1 minute. So on a 5, you get a Terminator back.
Yes.
Or a thing back. What about your Lord? If he casts, I suppose it's returned to the unit. So if he's dead, there's no unit to return to.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just affecting these 2 units.
Okay.
The power isn't the best. There's some nice things. In fact, I'm going to move him into the cult of duplicity because he doesn't get benefit from the thing. There's no point in him being there.
Yeah.
I hadn't realised it wasn't infantry. So
it's infantry.
So it's just these are the cult of time.
Yeah. I mean, I shoved that book in your hand this morning. So
I'm adapting.
But basically, on a warp charge value of 5, you get a model back.
Yeah.
And a warp charge value of 9 or more, you get D3.
Yes.
With all wounds remaining.
With all wounds remaining. So these taken down to his last model.
Yeah.
Cast of power could get half the unit back.
I like it. Okay.
Let's see now.
And then they've got extra psychic stuff, which we're not going to go through. We'll go through all the psychic powers in the game.
They do, but you'll want to hear about the traits because I've given them traits and things. The Warlord trait.
So this guy's your Warlord with that relic.
Yes, and using a stratagem for Magister, I can give another unit
a Warlord trait and a relic.
Trait.
Okay.
So this guy is going to get the extra Warlord trait.
Okay.
Immaterial Echo. When I cast a psychic power on a 9 or more, I get to cast another one. So he knows 3 psychic powers plus smite.
Yes.
He can only cast 2.
Yes.
But if I get 9 or more to cast either one of those, I'll get to cast another one.
But you're never going to get 9 or more.
He has a familiar that gives him +1 to his first psychic test, so his odds are better.
Oh, okay.
But the real kicker is what you want for the relic, which I'm giving to the Demon Prince.
Yes.
Called the Hourglass of Manat. The first time.
What now?
The Hourglass of Manat.
Okay.
You've heard of Manat. It's on Manhead.
Yeah, it's a lovely place.
The first time he is destroyed, at the end of the phase, return him to play with D3 wounds remaining, as close as he could to previous position.
What?
So he steps back up again.
Don't your Demon Princes already have a 4-up invulnerable save?
They do.
Because they're Zinch, and so you add 1 to the invulnerable.
You do, yes.
So you've got a Demon Prince with wings with a pair of malefic talons with a 4-up invulnerable save, and he's going to get back up again.
He is.
Like Guilliman.
Without having to roll for it, though. He just gets back up.
So better than Guilliman.
Better than Guilliman.
And Saint Sabbath.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you've got some new toys then?
I've got some new toys.
Okay, we've got some Rubicon thing, we've got loads of Zangors on foot, we've got loads of Zangors on discs. I like Zangors on discs, they're cool.
They are. I'm getting more of them because they're still cool. Even though they didn't get to be cults, the Zangor on discs have become cheaper and they are still just as good as they ever were.
The tournament-esque Thousand Suns list, we've spoken about it before, tends to be lots of Zangors and then Demon Princes and Demons and Psychos zipping around all over the place, maybe change. With a knight or two. But the new Ritual of the Damned book really does give some new toys to Rubikai because the cult stuff doesn't affect Zangors. So Zangors are not nerfed, but the power armored stuff is improved by this book.
Yes.
So you're happy with the book?
Very happy with the book. I'll spend one more pre-game stratagem on Webway Infiltration to get one of these into Deep Strike.
Okay.
I could spend 3 to put them both in, but there's lots of stratagems I want to play, so I'm keeping my...
So one of these is in Deep Strike.
Yeah.
D3 of these units is moving all over the place before the game begins. You've got a spell that allows you to teleport one of these units 9 inches away from an enemy, such and such.
I do.
So
a stratagem that allows me to deep strike Rubikai like their scouts.
A new stratagem which allows you to
and
that happens on Rubikai.
Like to place Rubikai like their scouts.
Lots of movement and deployment shenanigans are now available to the Thousand Suns.
They are.
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know what else to say.
I think that's all. We'll just let the magic do the talking.
Nice. Right, after all that psychic shenanigans and heresy, let's return to the Hearthfire. Let's take it back down to Earth, the good old Earth of Fenris. This is 1998's worth of Space Wolves. It's a single battalion detachment. No shenanigans going on here. Maybe? What am I looking at, Monkey?
Okay, so as always, it's headed up by my Wolf Lord on a wolf mount, which is Nivar Crosswick.
Nice.
He's got the usual Thunderhammer Storm Shield. We've seen him before. He does some work.
Yeah. We should mention as well, Space Wolf stuff, they hit on 2s, basically, +1.
Yes.
When they go charging in, or are charged, or are
heroic
intervention, and they characters also pile in. Heroic intervene 6 inches, not 3 inches.
Yep.
So those Thunderhammers, for example, will be hitting on 2s instead of a 3 on him. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So to the left we've got Brother Ranulph.
Yes.
He's a wolf priest, which again is a bit of a mix of a chaplain and an apothecary.
Nice.
Not so good either way, but still, he's one of my faves.
But the chaplain power auto goes off all the time.
Yeah, so we've not got doctrines, we've not got litanies, so he's still a reroll buff. So rerolling all failed hits in the fight phase, which is cool.
You might not have all those doctrines, but you've got a stick.
we've got many sticks, some of them with hammers on the end, which is quite cool.
Cool. Who's this chap?
So he's the new addition. So this is my first toe being dipped into the Primaris kind of world.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't own any Primaris, so he's been painted up specially.
Okay.
So I think that the wolves are always going to be mistrusting of outsiders.
Yeah.
So his performance will kind of decide if I go down the Primaris route or whether I cling on to the old mini marines.
So your pack has allowed one guy turning up, not one tactical squad, not one unit, but one dude.
A wolf pack stays together. A wolf pack doesn't invite outsiders in. So.
This guy must have had a good saga and told a good tale while they were sitting around drinking some yod. And they went, okay, you can come along for this fight.
But is it good enough? So I think today will be the test. So if he does well, then we might see some change. If not, then he'll need to keep proving himself every battle afterwards.
Yep. I noticed you've got Murderfang back here.
Murderfang, yeah.
They've got the character keyword as well, so they can heroically intervene 6 inches.
You can, yeah, and he's under 10 wounds, so he can't be targeted either, which is quite cool.
Cool. What else?
So we've got a squad of...
relics, psychic relics and warlord traits and things?
Yeah, so we've just gone for the standard ones for a Space Wolf Punchy Force.
Right.
It's Saga of the Wolfkin.
Yeah.
So +1 attack for people around him.
Yeah.
Again, he's got to unlock it, so if he kills 5 things, there's a bubble around him which unlocks. And then his relic is the Wolfenstone, which is +1 attack.
Nice.
So
extra attacks.
More punches.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
So elite slots, we've got the a squad of Wolfen.
Okay.
These I'm really hoping to do some work today. So the usual mix, Thunderhammer, Storm Shields, some Frost Claws, there's a Frost Axe in there. They can advance and charge.
Yeah.
And they've got the Death Frenzy rule.
Yeah.
So they've got a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
And then if they die in combat, they get to fight again.
And they're here to retrieve their brothers.
They are indeed. So they could smell the scent of the wolfkin on the air, and that's where we're going in together.
Howls fill the air. This way, lads. This way. Cool. 30 dudes.
Yes. So troops. So we've got a squad of blood claws in the centre.
Yep.
Riding down in a drop pod.
Yep.
And then either side, then we've got 2 packs of grey hunters, both in rhinos.
Yep.
And then the man in the middle of the banner is He-Man. Backwards again.
He's back.
He's back. No matter how hard he gets beat up, he always keeps coming back for more.
He gets knocked down. He gets up again. You can't ever keep him down. Land Raider Crusader.
Yes.
Which I have mixed feelings about Crusaders, but there's no doubt it's got a lot of DACA.
It's basically, today, it's a taxi. It's a taxi for Wolfen.
Because you can put 16 dudes in here, or 8 Wolfen, right?
Yes.
How many Wolfen have you got?
So we've got 7.
Right.
And
then you've got your characters in there as well.
They'll be supervised by Brother Ranulph, not the Primaris guy.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's too tall to ride on a Land Raider.
Yeah. Wolfen can fit in there, but Primaris can't.
Yes.
For some bizarre reason.
Yeah.
Sakarim from ForgeWorld.com, which is good.
Indeed, yeah.
Is that the heavy bolter one?
It's the 3 heavy bolters and the accelerator autocannons on the top.
I prefer it that way. I know you can put las cannons on it, but it's just cheap, and it's got power of the machine spirit, and it can move, and
plenty of DACA today.
And
Thundercav. So squad of 4 today.
Don't leave home without them.
Never. Probably not that strong in the meta nowadays, but they're guys on wolves. It's pretty cool.
It's space wolves, and look, here are some wolves in space. So we have a nice rounded 2,000 point Space Marine list here. You have got some long range DACA with the Sakaran, but that's about it. Yes. Apart from that, it looks like you want to close and see the whites of your enemy's eyes. I've got news for you. Some of them don't even have eyes.
Some have got many eyes.
Some of them have got too many. All right, let's go on to deployment. Okay, here we are after deployment. Space Wolves drop first, Thousand Suns drop second. We found out a couple of things. One, the Sakaran does not have power of the machine spirit, so it can't move and fire without penalty. There's a drop pod in reserve with a bunch of blood claws in it. They haven't got melters, but they've got flamers and other stuff. And there's a unit of 15 Azangors on foot. The monkey's got his Wolfen in there, and then you're spread across the line, and there is a rhino there. And there's a rhino over here with a full squad of 10 guys in each. Now, the way supplies from above works is you don't score until battle round 2. And at the start of every battle round, there's that pre-battle round stuff that might happen, such as litanies from chaplains, other stuff, that pre-game stuff happens. And then in battle round 2, and then the start of the player turn, the first player turn, one of these things could move. So potentially the Wolfen could move away from Monkey's lines before his turn. So because that happens at the start of the battle round. The Wolfen move first, and then we go on to the player turn, and you score if there is a Wolfen next to you at the start of your turn. So actually going second in a game like this is kind of beneficial.
Yeah, you jump on things.
Because they move in the battle round, and then if you're going second, then you know where they are. But if you're going first and you can choose whether you go first or second, then they could potentially move away from you. Mm-hmm. And whether they move or not, the players roll off, and whoever wins the roll off, you can move a Wolfen 3 inches, and if it's tied, they stay still. So with that in mind, you've spent a CP on what now, Stylus?
One of my new stratagems called Risen Rubricae.
Okay.
During deployment,
yes.
For a CP, you can deploy a unit of Rubric Marines 9 inches away from the enemy, anywhere on the battlefield.
So if you're going second, you could then move them forward and tag the Sakaar and stops your shooting.
Yes.
So Monkey's definitely going to choose to go first.
He is.
And you're going to probably try and seize the initiative.
If I can chat, yes.
And then you've got some guys hanging out in the wind here, and they're going to die.
They are.
Aha!
But
I would like to go second, please.
What?
I'd like to go second.
Really?
So someone's tricked the trickster.
But you've got deployment shenanigans with your Warlord trait, which you can pick up D3 units. So if you are going second, instead of these guys getting lit up, you could redeploy them.
I could.
So the mind games are starting already.
I've got a tiny mind. There's only one game. Punch Stylus as hard as I can.
Thousand Suns. So we have Spawn, we have the Mutilith Vortex Beast. Looking down this avenue straight at a Land Raider Crusader, why on earth have you put 2 Mutilith Vortex Beasts here? Well, there's Wolfen in that thing, don't you know?
Well, they're hard to hide because they're full of spawn and tentacles. So
right.
And they've got to go somewhere.
Okay.
And there are 1, 2, 3 objectives, assuming they stay reasonably still. So I sense this is where the big push is coming.
Okay.
And I don't want to be near this thing's guns. So
no.
I thought, throw the big stuff up this alleyway. Wolfen don't scare me. And
Wolfen don't scare. Actually, looking across the battle grid, your whole army is relatively medium range.
It is, yes.
And so is Monkey's, except for the Sakaran.
Yes.
So you're going to meet in the middle, and it's going to get nasty.
It's medium range, unless, for example, I was Cult of Duplicity and could throw my units around the board as I chose.
Yeah, and you've got that.
And I've got.
So we've got dudes here. Rubricae, Terminators, loads of stuff spread across the line. Angle heavy on the left, Rubricae heavy in the middle. There's obviously lots of large line of sight blocking terrain all over the place. Anyone within a terrain feature will get +1 to their cover save. There's a few gaps to get through, but actually line of sight on this table is rather restricted, which is quite interesting. It's going to be quite interesting. Right, turn 1. Would you like to choose to go first or second? Seriously.
I'd like to go second, please.
Really?
Yes.
But then he's going to charge forward with these dudes and tag his Sakaran, and his Sakaran won't work.
Yeah.
Okay. So Monkey's choosing to go second, so you can redeploy D3 of your stuff with your Warlord trait.
Before that, we've got another relic. We'll do some admin.
Have we? Okay.
We'll remember this. At the start of each battle round,
yes.
I roll a dice. On a 4 or more, I get a command point. On a 1, this Monkey gets 1.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
No one gets anything.
No one gets a command point.
So now I can use my Duplicitous Warlord
to
reposition 3 of my units. I get to position 1.
Just 1?
Just 1.
Right, 1 minute. The other thing we need to do is every battle around these Wolfen are going to move. You can't score them until turn 2, so we're going to move them now potentially. The players roll off, and the winner of the roll off can move them 3 inches in any direction, and if you get a draw, they stay still. And these 2 Wolfen stay still, and that Wolfen, and this Wolfen over here, these 2 guys move 3 inches towards the Space Wolves lines. It's as though they can scent their kin. So this redeployment thing, it has to follow the rules for that unit. So you've picked some Terminators and shoved them there. Yeah. If they were scouts, for example, because of concealed positions or eliminators, they could move out of the deployment zone, but they've got to follow the normal deployment rules. Basically, you're shifting all the way over to the left flank, and you're going first.
I am.
So for some reason, Monkey is allowing you to charge his Sakaran and shut it down, but I guess that means he's just going to jump on this sacrificial unit here. And with that in mind, let's go on to Thousand Suns, turn 1. Right, here we are after Thousand Suns movement phase. This unit of Rubricae heading straight towards the Sakaran here. The Mutilith Vortex Beast advancing up the street. Along with the Demon Prince, and that's the Warlord on the disc there, right?
That's my Warlord, yes.
His name is?
Arachnopathwin.
That's that guy. And then you've kept some Spawn and some Zangors on a disc right in the back line. Why are we doing this?
He's got a drop pod. I'm nervous of having Space Wolves charging my back passage.
Yes.
These are part of the Cult of Duplicity, so they can bounce up whenever they need to.
Okay.
These are very fast, so they can go up when they need to, but they're quite squishy if you choose to shoot them, so I'd rather not put them right in his front line right now. So
okay.
I'm being a bit cautious going forward because of being made to take the first turn.
Right. And then the obstacle was slowing down the advance up the table. When you advance, you were half the advance roll moving forward. So essentially you are staying somewhat back, somewhat cautious.
I've got one Rubikai still tucked in there.
A unit of Rubikai?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Again, another one who's come through the ruins, so at least they come there.
And it looks like you're trying to leash this puppy here.
Yep, which we got around him.
There's a unit inside here. Anything else in the middle as well? I can see one unit down
Just
there.
the Rubikai at the moment, so they'll help you get the benefit from being in the ruins. But again, with all these Thunderhammers and all these charges, anything that goes too far forward is probably going to get jumped.
Yeah, because they're, I mean, he can. It looks like bait to me. He can jump on that, but then your entire army will jump on him. So psychic shenanigans. There's much shenanigans to be happening. Where are we starting, sir?
We will start with the Demon Prince, who's going to cast Gaze of Fate.
Okay.
Which will give me an additional reroll. So I need a 6 for this. That happens.
It's basically a free CP reroll, right?
Free CP reroll.
Nice. 1 minute, we jumped ahead a bit too quickly. Monkey wanted to play Talismanic Shield for a command point. Basically, one of your characters can deny the witch as if they were a Psyker. So we'll wait and see what other psychic spells come off. But Murderfang's a Psyker, and you've got... Basically, you can deny the witch if you're a Psyker, if he rolls low. So now we're doing the Jumpy spell, the new spell of what now? The Sorcerer's, what's it?
Sorcerer's Facade.
From the Cult of Duplicity, trying to jump the Spawn forward. You need a 7 now.
You need a 7.
Okay. That's a Perils.
That is a Perils. What a great time to use a new stratagem.
Right.
Which is called...
Right.
Adepts of the Immaterium.
Yes.
For command point, I do not suffer Perils of the Warp.
So it still passes. It's undeniable because you'd need to get more than 13 to block it.
Yep.
And you spend a CP and you don't get a Perils.
Indeed.
Beautiful. And so in a flash of unreality, that sorcerer casts a spell on the Spawn. They flicker into reality back again 9 inches away from the Land Raider Crusader and deep in the Space Wolves lines. So the second power of the sorcerer cast was a smite. Monkey chose not to try and deny it. It hit the Land Raider and took 3 mortal wounds off the Land Raider. Now we're down to what now?
This chap here is
okay.
going to cast Boon of Mutation.
Okay.
He needs a 7 because he's got a Chaos Familiar down to a 6.
Okay.
That goes off.
That passes.
And because that's a 9, he has the power to cast an additional spell. So he'll cast 3 this turn.
Why is that one?
Because that's the extra Warlord trait I gave him from the Cult of, let's say, Duplicity or Time.
So instead of casting 2 powers, this guy's going to be casting 3.
Yes.
Nice.
So, but the boon he gets is...
It's 2d6. Roll on the boon table. Because if you'd have rolled a double 1, he'd have turned himself into a Spawn.
I've got a Spawn model ready for him. I've also got a Demon Prince model ready for him too.
Have you? Okay.
Yes,
what's an 8 on the boon?
8. Aura of Illusion. Subtract 1 from hit rolls that target him in the fight phase.
Right, never forget that. -1 to hit him in the fight phase.
Look after my admin.
So after not turning into a Spawn, the next power he cast was Diabolic Strength on the Mutilate Vortex Beast, and he perilled.
What is strong with me?
So you're using your Gate of Phase reroll. And you didn't perils.
So that's now an 11.
Okay, and the Mutilate Vortex Beast is powered up. And the Sorcerer and Terminator Armor, his third power, you're out of range to smite. The Demon Prince has got Gaze of
Fate, which he cast, and Infernal Gateway, which is an 18-inch range, so that's out of range.
So that's not happening. So now we're across to the Sorcerer and this squad doing Doombolt.
Doombolt, that was within 24-inch range.
Yep.
Enemy unit, I'll cast that on a 9.
Okay. That goes off.
I shall try to deny you, sir.
Okay. You need a 10. That's an epic fail.
So that's D3 mortal wounds on the unit, but the really fun part is you will halve your move characteristic and cannot advance.
On the Thundercav.
Your Thundercav want to move and advance?
Okay, D3.
That's 3.
So 3 mortal wounds on the Thundercav and half their move and advance. They have 3 wounds each?
Yes.
So one gets deaded with a mind bullet. After that squad passed, we're moving down the line. This squad is doing Weaver of Fates on the Zangors to try and boost up their invulnerable.
Needs a 6.
And that passes. You're rolling high, my friend,
yeah.
but that gets the Zangor's invulnerable save up to a 4+, right?
Lovely. Yes, it does.
Then down this end of the battle grid, either everything is out of line of sight or range or usefulness at this point in the battle. So there were a couple of slight smites that flickered out. And I've tickled that Rhino, taking 1 wound off. And now this is the last cast of the turn.
It is, yep.
The squad of Zangors that infiltrated forward doing what now?
They're not Zangors, they're Rubric Marines.
Rubric Marines, sorry.
They're doing Tzeentch's Firestorm.
Yes.
I need a 7 to cast it, and I'm casting it on his Warlord.
Oh, okay. You can just target it like that.
Not like it's not close, it's like a smite. And that goes off on a 7.
So the Warlord gets hit, you roll dice, 9 dice, and on 6s you do mortal wounds.
Indeed.
The number of Tzeentch. And the Warlord takes a mortal wound.
Takes a mortal wound.
And that's the end of the psychic phase. The Warlord of the Space Wolves get a little bit of a headache from some mind bullets from some Thousand Suns. Then we move on to the shooting phase. At the start of the shooting phase, you pick a Mutalith Vortex Beast, and they have 6 powers to choose from. Now you can either choose one or randomize it, and then you roll 2d6 and you have and you get 2 basically. So are you picking one or are you randomizing 2?
At this range, there's only one power that's really any use.
Okay.
So I pick the Beam of Unreality.
Yes.
It goes off on a 2.
Okay.
It goes off.
Right.
It targets the closest enemy unit. That's the Land Raider.
Yes.
And on 4s, it has mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds.
2 more mortal wounds on the Land Raider. Right, before we crack on any further, Monkey spend a command point on the Armour of Contempt. You get to ignore mortal wounds on the vehicle on a 5-up. And you ignore one of them, so it takes a mortal wound from that stuff. It's down to 12 left. Is the other one in? It's in range.
It's within 18-inch range.
And you can use, if you had like 3 Mutalith Vortex Beasts, they could do the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. So
yes.
mortal wound output. Nasty. So on a 2 it goes off, right?
Off.
Okay. And then
4s or more.
Yeah.
That's another 2.
That's another 2. 2 more 5-up, Monkey. What's that? New. Takes 2 more mortal wounds. The Land Raider's down to 10 of its 16 wounds. Now, pretty much everything else in the Thousand Suns army was out of range or didn't have any shooting attacks anyway, except for this squad here, firing in with its bolters and stuff against the Sakaran. It was winning on 5s, took 2 wounds off. 2 wounds off of the Sakaran, it's down to 12 wounds left. And that's it, we're on to the charge phase now. You're charging in to the Sakaran.
And the Rhino.
And the Rhino?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do the Accelerator Autocannon Overwatch on camera. It's 8 shots, hitting on 6s into the Thousand Suns. And you get...
Rerolling once because of Wolflord.
Okay, yep, sure. Okay, 1 hit, and it's Strength 7, Toughness 4, Wounding on a 3. And that wounds, and because it's a damage 2 weapon, you don't get the All Is Rust roll. It's AP -1, I think.
4 up.
And you make the save anyway. We'll do all the heavy bolters and storm bolters. And the single damage weapons failed to hurt any of the Rubikai. They make the charge. They roll a 6 and get into the Sakaran and the Rhino. Remember, there is 10 Space Wolves inside that Rhino there. But this shuts the Sakaran down from shooting. It'll have to fall back and won't be able to fire in the first turn. And there is a second charge coming on. We have a 9-inch charge from the spawn. Let's see if they make it first. Then we'll do the Overwatch. And that's a Snake Eyes.
That's not going to
So
happen.
even if you command point reroll a 1, you will fail the charge. And then this has got 24 Hurricane Bolters plus 12 Assault. It's got 36 shots raining into the Storm Bolter, hitting the spawn. But because the Land Raider Crusader was hitting on 6s, it got a couple of hits in, got a couple of wounds in, but the spawn made their 5-up save. However, there is a failed charge. They are hanging out in the wind. Now we're on to the fight phase. Harubukai trying to open up these tin cans down here. 4 attacks against the Rhino with Hateful Assault, hitting on 3s. And wounding on, that's 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. And it wounds. 3-up save, it passes. And then we've got the 4 with Hateful Assault hitting the Sakaran on 3s. And 3 hits and winning on 5s. 2 more wounds, 2 3-up saves on the Sakaran. It passes, and then you got the staff. What has the sorcerer got?
It's got a 4 stave, so it's -1 plus 2 strength.
Okay.
No, unless he misses.
Right, okay. So
Yeah,
they
not
charge
basic.
forward, clang against the tanks, scratch at the armour, but don't do any damage at all. And that is the end of the Thousand Suns, turn 1. You've hurt some vehicles here. You've killed a Thunder Cav and put 1 wound on his Warlord. And you've stripped quite a few wounds off the Land Raider Crusader here. But that's it. You have shut the Sakaran down as well. Yeah. What will happen in battle round 2, that's when we start scoring, is you're not on that objective, you're not on that objective, you're not on that objective, but you are here. And even if Stylus, I know the way you put it, even if Stylus moves it 3 inches forward, you should still be within 3 inches of scoring this objective here, because the scoring starts from the start of battle round 2. What you have done is give yourself an amount of ball control and given Monkey a few threats that he now has to deal with as we head on to Space Wars Turn 1. Edit, the vehicles hit the 1,000 Suns back again, didn't do any damage, and Stylus also pointed out that no first strike either. That's quite important because each of these objectives is 1 point each. So if you get 2 points and Monkey gets 2 points and someone has first strike, that first strike it's worth its weight in gold in this game type. Let's go on.
Carrying in their tin cans, not coming out like I did in the battlefield to face.
Carrying in their tin
They're
cans.
hidden up in their drop pods and their rhinos and their land raiders. There's no honour in this. I'm out here planting the flag.
They drove here using petrol and promethium as the Emperor of Man intended. You came flashing out of the warp with all psychic colours and...
Exactly, so there is a carbon neutral way of travelling.
Heard it here first. 1,000 Suns, carbon... Because eco is very important in the 40k millennium. Save the galaxy from the...
Save the galaxy, recycle.
Yeah. I guess in that case, the Tyranids are the most holy of the thing, because they're carbon neutral. They recycle everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here we are after the Space Wolves movement phase as they respond to the 1,000 Suns aggression. Both the Rhino and the Sakaran have fallen out of combat, so they can't shoot, and this unit disembarked from the Rhino before it moved. The Rhino moving forward because Smite is a thing, and Smite always hits the first thing in line of sight and range, so using as a Rhino as a Smite screen over here for the smites. The same thing happened over here actually. This unit got out and have surrounded the wolf and they're trying to coax him down, say come back to us guys. And if it moves 3 inches in any direction, it can move over models but can't land on top of them, these objectives. It moves 3 inches in any direction. So long as that unit's there at the end, after Stylus's turn, Monkey will score that objective there, and then the Rhino burst forward for a smite screen because we saw the Mutilate Vortex beasts chuck out mortal wounds, and there's a prince and a sorcerer and a sorcerer. There's mini smites, big wow, coming from that direction and potentially coming from over here as well. The Wolfen staying inside the Land Raider Crusader for now. He was thinking for a long time about shoving them forward with Thunder Hammers, smashing into the Mutilate Vortex beasts, potentially taking one of them out. But it would probably be a trade, because after he takes them out, then they'll probably get smitten and doom-bolted and firestormed off the table, and that'll be the end of his Wolfen in turn 2. So he's keeping them back as a counterpunch. There's still 15 Zangors that can come out of the webway, and the 1,000 Suns still have shenanigans where they can jump units around all over the place. So holding on to this objective here and building the smite screen. Responding over here and building the smite screen, moving across with the Lord and with his lieutenant ready to take first strike. These guys head. And then the drop pod came in here. And the wings, the fins of the drop pod count as part of the model as well. So just a little bit of shenanigans here, taking every inch he can, making sure that tip of the model is a bit further forward than the rest of the blood claws that came piling out. They're also in reroll range of the lieutenant and wolf lord as well. Oh, and Murderfang, he didn't have any good choices to go right or left for now, so keeping him back as a counterpunch unit. So there's some forward aggression, some units held back for turn 2, turn 3, as we head on to the Space Wolves shooting phase. Just a quick bit of repositioning here, moving the Thundercav back because they were doom bolted, and Monkey's telling me that the reason why the Wolfen aren't rampaging out of the Crusader yet is because the Wolf Priest, Brother Ranulph, is holding them back now, saying, calm lads,
He's got the child lock on. He just put the lock on, they can't open the doors, they're just...
Child lock.
Child lock for the Wolfen. They close, they can't work the handles. Brother Randolph's got his finger down.
Oh, that's fighting talk. Let's pull the trigger. Right, we're starting on this part of the battle grid from the Grey Hunters that jumped out of the Rhino. There's a melt, combi melter, and you're targeting the spawn.
Yes, everything going into them.
Okay, everything going into them from here. Okay. Melters, are you firing both parts or just the melter part?
Just the melter part.
Okay.
So there's a melter and a combi melter. So,
nice. 3s to hit. And 1 hit. And it's going to be 3s to wound because they are toughness 5. And it does wound. They don't get a save. They have a 5-up save and that melters for AP -4. So how much damage?
D6.
2. How many do they come with?
4 wounds each.
Oh. Well, you've tickled him. None of the bolters are in rapid fire range. So 8 shots coming in, 3s to hit. And 5s to wound. And we have 1 wound. 1 wound.
No AP?
No AP.
5-up save. Nope. That's
Nope.
1 down to his last wound.
After the pack fired at the spawn, now the Land-Raided Crusader is going to unload into the spawn. You made sure they're all in 24-inch range for rapid fire Hurricane Bolter death. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 5s. That looks pretty good to me. Actually, it was only 5 wounds. No AP, 5-up saves. Okay.
1 dies and 1's on 3 wounds.
Okay. Bolter, 3s to hit. And 5s to wound. 1 more wound.
5-up save.
Okay, 1 down to 2 wounds, and then 12 shots with the assault bolter. Assault cannon, 3s to hit. Of course, Land Raiders are moving and firing their heavy weapons with Power of the Machine Spirit. 3s to wound. And that's only 4 wounds, but it is AP -1. So 4 6-up saves.
1. And so 1 dies, and 1 is down to 3 wounds.
Then the pod and some more incidental firepower came out and injured 1 more spawn, but that's all the guns that are going to hit these spawn now. There's still 1 left alive, 1 on 2 wounds. If they pass their leadership test, then that Land Raider is in danger of being shut down. Then the Blood Claws that came piling out of the pod shot in, the ones in rapid fire range, shot at the Rubikai here, but they have a 2-up save in this ruin, and all is dust. And then some remaining rapid fire shots came out into this squad that charged the Sakaran last turn, and 1 has died. And now the Warlord is unpinning a grenade, which will hit on a 2. And it hits, and it will wound on a 3. And it rerolls 1 to wound because Nigel, he hasn't got a name, but we're calling him Nigel. The lieutenant is there with him. So that's a wound. All of dust doesn't kick in because it's D3 damage weapon. So it's a 4-up save. And he failed the save. And it will kill 1 in this squad. Right, I think this is the last thing left to fire. The unit that came outside the Rhino, we've got an overcharging plasma gun, which is in range of the Terminators down here. The rest of the shots going into the Zangors. Hitting on the 3 with this plasma gun. And that hits, and you're wound on a 2. It's now strength 8. It wounds a 5-up invuln, which is a 4-up invuln, right? Because you're Zinch.
No, it's a 5-up invuln, and because that's double damage, that doesn't kick in. So it's
okay.
Just a 5-up invuln.
But you fail, and it's double damage, so it does kill a Terminator. A beautifully placed plasma shot there, my brother. Well done. And then all the bolt gun death into the Zangors. I'm a bit biased, by the way.
That's fine to you.
3s to hit. Now, Zangors are toughness 4 for some strange reason. Wounding on 4s. And they have a 4-up save because you've got that... whatever it's called. Weaver of Fates. 4-up saves. But you killed 2 of them anyway. And that's the end of the shooting phase. Terminator, some Zangors dying, and some spawn? Is that it? Okay. We're now into the charge phase as Wolf Lord, what's his name? Nivag attempts to clear the line and charge into the Thousand Suns after some Overwatch. So grenade coming in. You're charging with the Thundercav first. That misses.
Regular bolter.
Okay. That misses. And there's a flamer. For 1 hit, which will wound on a 5 because it's the Thundercav.
Yeah.
Right, now the interesting thing is, this is a 3-inch charge, 4 inches away. You aren't slowed down from the charge from your Doom Bolt, but you are -2 because you're going through a crater. So instead of a 4, you need a 6 to make this charge. And they get in there. So after the Thundercav make the charge, Navag, Wolflord of the Space Wolves, get in there as well, along with the Primaris Lieutenant. Now, Wolflord has 4 attacks, +1 for Shock Assault, +1 for his Relic, and +1 for his Saga. 7 attacks. And it's a Thunderhammer, typically hitting on 3s, but you're a Space Wolf, you're hitting on 2s. Re-rolling 1s with the Thunderhammer. Beautiful thing. Over here, yeah, cool. 2s to hit, re-rolling the 1s. And your strength 8, and they are toughness 4. So you're smushing them on 2s and re-rolling 1s because there's the Primaris Lieutenant there. And then re-roll 1s. And you definitely don't get all his dust from this multiple damage stuff. But you do have a 5-up.
All these 5-ups coming in now.
Yeah.
That's not bad, but 4 die.
4 die. Your Warlord has killed 3. Now, your Saga, the way these Saga things work, he's got +1 attack all the time. But if he kills 5 models, he's killed 3 so far, then that +1 attack goes out to a 6-inch aura.
Yeah.
Have you said he's killed 4 models so far? Oh yeah, he killed 1 with a grenade. So he's killed 4. If he kills 1 more thing, then he'll be giving out a 6-inch aura +1 attack. And that is the end of the Space Wolf's turn. We have a morale test to take with a spawn over here. They must be leadership 4 or something. Space Marines are leadership 8 or 9. So what's their leadership?
Leadership 9.
What?
In fairness, some of them used to be Space Marines.
What?
And Custodies. So that's not a problem.
No, 1 minute. Spawn are leadership 9.
Leadership 9.
What heretic warp trickery is this? Okay.
And the Zangor would pass as well with 1.
Okay. Right, so we're going to go into battle round 2, but before we do so, we're going to roll some dice, because at the start of battle round 2, these objectives move around all over the place.
Yes.
So let's roll off, and before we go into battle round 2. Yes, for this one here, so 4 and 4, that one stays there. What about the one next to the tank? So you can move it 3 inches, Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
So you've enticed the Wolfen closer to your lines, and this is important because at the start of your turn, that's when you score it. So if Murderfang is still there at the start of your turn in turn 2, you'll get a point for that one. Where's the next one? This one here. Stylus gets a 3, Monkey gets a 2. So Stylus can actually pull this one 3 inches towards his line. And the Wolfen goes forward. So essentially, you don't want to lose that guy, Monkey. He wants to be there at the start of your turn 2. And then we're getting on to this Wolfen. 3 and a 4. You can drag him closer to your lines, the Imperial lines, one more time. It seems like all these Wolfen want to come home, with the exception of this inherent one here. Maybe he was startled by the noise of the drop pod that smashed in behind him. Now let's go on. Before we go to Thousand Suns turn 2, at the start of your turn, you get a point for that one there.
That's it.
And that's it. Before we go into turn 2, you've got a point for first strike. You got a point to start turn 2, so it's 1 point each.
And I roll before the battle round to see who gets a command point.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It's me.
So you get a command point. Now we can go on to Thousand Suns, turn 2. Right, it's 1 point each. Here we are after the Thousand Suns movement phase. Putting the Rhino in the middle of the street as a smite screen has also blocked the Mutalith Vortex beasts from racing down the street here. Hasn't stopped the spawn moving up though, and the unit of Zangors that were in the webway have popped out here. They look a bit stretched across the line there because Murderfang was dropped in right there as well. So that's what's happening on this flank. In the middle, the unit of Urubukai move forward. They can shoot, they can potentially charge the Blood Claws, and remember in Monkey's turn, these count as normal objectives. If you outnumber him on that objective, then you'll stop Monkey scoring it in his turn 2. Around here, the Zangors move forward, the flying Zangors move forward, all the Zangors, all the beaky guys move forward up this flank as well. So we have a push on the right, on the left, in the centre, Zangors in the backfield, and a dog barking outside. Coming around here, we have some Rubukai in here. The Space Wolf, I like it. And you've left gaps now in your lines because you know that there's no more drop pods hurtling down from orbit. Right, where are we starting in the psychic phase? Because I see you with your book. You've got plenty.
Something new is coming.
Yes.
Cult of Time.
Cult.
The psychic power they all know.
One more thing. They did take a morale test for losing 2 models. You rolled a 1. They held. Yeah. Cult of Time.
We're going to do the time warp again.
Right.
And
it's just a step to the left.
Right. Any Cult of Time infantry.
Put your hands on your hips. And bring your knees in tight.
And it's the perfect pass that really does you insane.
Right, okay. Right. That's enough of that tabletop tactic shenanigans. Let's go on with the normal stuff.
This is great. I turn back time to make that plasma shot as if it never happened.
Really?
Yeah, on a 5.
That's a 6.
That's a 6.
Yes.
And so, infantry unit, I get 1 model back with all its wounds remaining.
No.
Back you get, Mr. Terminator. You never lost the battle.
That's a powerful spell, brother.
It's pretty good. And if I rolled above 9, I'd have had D3 back. I can't make the unit bigger, but...
Essentially, if you've got a unit of Terminators, you're always going to be bringing that spell. Always putting Ato and back, and back, and back, and back, and back. So you really want this unit dead. Mind you, if he kills 3 of them, you can only bring 1 back.
Unless I cast on a 9 or more. So
Damn
I could
it.
do a Sorcerer's Cabal. I could
Okay.
go 1, 2, 3, and then I could have got a +2 to the roll. When I rolled 6 then, I could have rerolled that 1, and then I got D3 back.
Psychic shenanigans from
Psychic
the Thousand
shenanigans.
Suns. I love it. Where are we going to next?
Gaze of Fate, my
Yes.
free reroll. That happens.
Okay,
That's my free reroll.
Next.
His other power is... I can do this one. This one is... Infernal Gateway. Happens within 18 inches, the nearest enemy model. So it'll be one of those.
Yeah.
A suffer D3 mortal wounds, and anything around it. So it's just that model will suffer.
Okay,
So it's just
so
a
pick
fancy
a model.
sword. Yep. And it needs an 8.
Why didn't you just smite them?
I'll just smite them.
That's a smite.
That's a smite.
D3 mortal wounds.
For 1.
For 1, it did the same amount of damage. Right now, casting the Sorcerer's Facade on these guys. And you need a 7. That's a 8. That's Cult of Duplicity on these guys, and they disappear. And the spawn disappear and reappear up here, ready to charge through freighters against some Space Wolves. Second power, Prescience on the Terminators that just recovered one of their models, and that's a fail.
That's a fail.
Now moving along the line, that one who's got warp time,
guy here.
this dude's got warp time on the Demon Prince.
The Demon Prince?
Yes. That's another fail. You've just had 2 fails in a row. What's going on? Was that?
2 failures in a row.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the end.
It is, isn't it?
You know the way the world
The
ends?
tides of the great ocean ebb and flow.
This is the way the world ends. No.
What are you doing?
I'm re-rolling with a Gaze of Fate, so
Right.
2, I need
What do you
4
need?
to make it happen.
Is the warp time is a 6? Ah, you failed.
Oh.
Right, his second power, Boon and Mutation, he's going to power up again. So he's -1 to hit in close combat. You need a 6 to cast, didn't you say?
I did.
So you're going to CP reroll that one?
No, that doesn't happen.
No? You're going to let the Strands of Fate stand.
That's right. But I'll just stick Diabolic
Script
Strength.
sheet to remember everything. Go on, yeah.
Remember your admin. And Diabolic Strength on... He'll never make it now. Stick it on the Mutilith.
Okay.
Let him really whack something. That goes off.
He has failed 3 psychic powers now, though. Not
Oh,
just
yeah?
2. Yeah.
This is the way the world
Yeah.
ends.
Right, coming back round this side, then we had a smite hit the rhino. Couple of smites hit the rhinos here. Your sorcerers always smite on a 5. It doesn't go 5, 6, 7, 8, and they only do 1 damage or D3
Only
damage.
1 damage for the aspirants.
Yeah, and then who just got the perils?
This unit was trying to put Weaver of Fates on them to make them more survivable.
Right.
And I just rolled the perils.
Yes. So you're going to let fate stand like a true disciple of Tzeentch. Fate stands.
Well, I'll help Fate along a bit with a
help-
command point.
You'll help fate along with it with a command point reroll. Nice. And that, what did you get?
And that
What did you
goes
get?
off. 6.
Okay.
6 is
okay.
what I needed. So Fate clearly wanted that to happen.
So they got +1 to their saving throw.
Thanks,
Fate
Fate.
clearly wanted that to happen after you spent a command point. Cheat Fate. You know, every time you use a command point reroll to cheat Fate, a little demon in the Planet Sorcerer dies.
Well,
He loses his wings or his horns or something.
I think we've got enough demons on the planet.
You can
So
use
it's
CP. You can use. Oh, you reckon you got enough?
there's plenty of demons on the planet.
But you
so
shouldn't do it in the psychic phase. You can do it in the shooting phase and stuff like that, but you can't do it in the psychic phase.
All I really have is the psychic phase.
Then a Doom Bolt failed to cast. You need 9 to cast Doom Bolt, trying to slow down the walls. That didn't happen, and that's the end of the psychic phase. So Rhino suffering mortal wounds left and right and all over the place. And they're powered up. They jumped over here, and you didn't get your boon the second time. I've got a feeling that you're going to try and boon that guy and boon that guy and boon that guy until you either get a demon or a spawn or something.
I think you may be right there.
Okay, so let's go on to the shooting phase. At the start of the shooting phase, you pick a Mutilith Beast.
We do pick a Mutilith Beast. Let's pick this one.
Right.
And
So you can either pick a power or trust in fate and roll 2d6. and
Indeed. How
get
far
2
is my
powers.
charge if I had to make that? Do I go over the top of you? Or do I have
What?
to... This guy, because he flies, does he go...
Oh, your demon.
Yes.
See, technically monsters or vehicles can't go through walls of ruins unless they can actually fit there. They have to go round.
Okay.
Rhinos, monsters, everything. So if he flies over, it's like a 28-inch charge. If he goes round, you really needed to warp time him.
I need an warp time. Fair enough, you
Yeah.
won't have that then. But I will. I did put them in range, so they'll get the rerollable charge.
Okay.
So I need a 2 for this to happen. That happens, and I picked it, so it is the temporal flux. I can reroll failed charge rolls. So
You
I'm gonna
spawn.
create it,
So it's
yes.
11-inch rerollable charge
Yes.
through the crater there, because it would be a 9, but crater's -2.
Yes.
Okay, what's the other one doing?
This one, let's leave it to fate. I'll have 2 for once. So the first one is going to be a 4, which is pick a Tzeentch unit and improve the AP of its melee weapons. I'll
Okay.
improve its AP. So
But you've got to then roll a dice to see if it goes off, right?
Correct. That's a bit cocked.
And then you need a 2.
Yes. And that goes off.
Which, yeah, okay. So its melee weapons are improved by...
-1.
Right.
And its second random power is going to be 5, which is Maelstrom of Madness, which is useless. And pick an enemy unit within 9 inches, which is one of them, and reduces leadership, so it's a bit relevant.
Okay. Right, you do the Mutalith Beast at the start of the shooting phase, and then we move all the way down here. 2 CP being employed by these Terminators here, so long as they didn't move, and they didn't, spending a CP for Infernal Fusillade, so they're firing twice, and also burning a command point on them for Veterans of the Long War. So you've got many bolt gun shots firing out, and if you had prescience on these guys, which failed,
yes,
they'd be hitting on 2s as well. Are they in range of a Chaos Lord?
No, he's not a Chaos Lord, he's a regular sorcerer.
But can you imagine hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, firing twice, and you're picking on what now? The Thunder
Cav. I'm
Cav.
firing twice, I think I can pick my first target, then my second.
Yes.
So I'll pick the Thunderwolf Cav.
Right.
If there's any left alive, I'll pick on the Grey Hunters where they are.
Okay.
So starting with the Thunderwolf Cav,
Yep.
these are my bolter shots. I've got the cannon and the missiles to follow.
Hitting on 3s.
That's pretty.
Many hits came through, so we're wounding on 4s instead of 5s because of that Veterans of the Long War.
That's rather unfortunate.
And that was, you got loads of hits, but hardly any wounds.
Just those to save.
Is that
-2.
-5 wounds? And -2, there's Storm Shields in here though.
So yeah, there's only Storm Shields left, so let's go all at once, I think.
Okay, 3 up saves. And you take 2 wounds. Assault Cannon also hitting on 3s, and this is strength 6?
Strength 5, so veterans would mean I'd hitting wounding on 3s now.
Yes.
That's
Okay, 2
wounds.
more wounds.
-3, but
two,
Storm Shield.
2 more Storm Shield saves of 3 up. And you fail one of the Cav will die, unless you burn a command point, or you're happy to let one of them die. I'm not happy to let any Thunder Cav die, personally.
Missiles too, that helps.
We'll leave that go.
2 missiles coming in, hitting on 4s. This would be winning on 3s, but 2s with the veterans.
Strength 8, so
Yes.
wounding on 2s.
Yes.
2 wounds, -2.
Is these a flat
D3 wounds.
D3 wounds each? Okay, 2, 3 up, invulnerable saves. You fail 1. My boy! My boy!
You doing it?
You pass them both. So at the end of that fusillade, 1 Thundercat dies. Right, it looks like this. Second round of fusillade is going into the Grey Hunters, hitting on 3s. But you just get the bolters this time because it only affects the bolt weaponry, right?
Here's where I really wanted Lord to reroll those ones.
Yeah, firing twice only on the bolt stuff.
Yeah,
But with veterans, 3s to wound, and it is AP -2 because you've got witchy ammunition.
Indeed, and full option there's 6 saves to make it -2.
So this is -2, but -1 because you're entirely within a terrain feature. So 4s, and oh dear, 5 die. Right, so that was painful. Now we're on to the Zangors with their magical bows and arrows.
Fate Caster Great Bows.
Fate Caster Great Bows. This unit advanced, you said?
Yes, so they're hitting on 4s. Mildred is giving them a +1, so they're hitting back on 3s.
The Shaman.
The Shaman.
Mildred. So it's -1 but +1.
Yes, and 6s will auto wound.
Okay, 3s to hit, 6s auto wound.
No, Mildred is a good leader. So 6s are auto wounds.
Yes.
And they're strength 5, so
Right.
3s for actual wounds.
Okay.
So all these to make at -1.
So +1 because of the crater, so 3s. Okay, so 4 left in this squad here. Now the squad that didn't advance is in range, so these guys are hitting on 2s because of what now?
Because they normally hit on 3s, and the presence of a shaman gives them a +1 to hit.
Okay.
So hitting on 2s and 5s will auto wound this time.
Okay.
That's 8 minutes. Okay, so we'll move those 2. So 2 auto wounds.
Okay. This is why people bring Zangors.
And that's 5 more to save.
5 more threat saves, monkey. 2 more die. There's only 2 left in that squad. Probably the plasma gunner and the sergeant. Yes, the plasma gunner and the sergeant. Then we move from the right flank to the left flank. Some small arms ramming into that rhino there, taking a couple of wounds off. Then this squad that just stepped into the ruins, not all of them were in line of sight or range, fired into the space walls and didn't do any damage because of a range thing. However, this big squad in the middle of the temple, everything's in rapid fire range, coming into the space walls directly in front of them.
Indeed, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s.
And
only 2.
Only 2 at AP -2, but
-1
because of the crater. So 4s. And 2 of them die.
And the Warp Flamer, there's 4 shots, automatically hitting. And wounding twice, now they're -2.
And -2 as well, so -1 with the flame. She gets set on fire. But you stop, drop and roll and put that flame out. And that's the end of the shooting phase. So 2 in this squad died, 8 in this squad died. And with the psychic shenanigans as well, some wounds taken off the rhinos. We're going to be moving on to the charge phase. Some interesting charges coming on the left flank over here. Some charges deep in the crater next to this Wolfen. And also on the right flank, the noose of the Thousand Suns is closing. Right, down here, the Zangors charged into the Rhino, the Rama, doing no damage on Overwatch, and they're staying back with some of the Zangors, keeping hold of that wolf and that objective there. No charges in the middle yet, but both of the Mutilith Vortex Beasts have charged the Rhino on the left flank. So essentially, Stylus using the charge phase and using these 2 Rhinos to get a stepping stone forward up the table. And now we have Zangors or Spawn charging
Spawn will take on that one first.
So the Spawn is going to charge the Crusader and try to shut it down from Overwatch because you don't want to lose the Zangors when they go in.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So we have 40 shots in Overwatch coming in, hitting on 6s, wounding on 5s and 3s. Rolling the Overwatch with all these dice here. The Hurricane Bolts and Storm Bolts didn't do anything, but the Assault Cannon put 2 wounds through, which you need 6 up saves for. And you make one of them. And now basically don't roll Snake Eyes and you will make this charge. And that's a 5, they get in. Right, now we're on to the Zangor Bomb, 9 inches from the Crusader, 9 inches from Murderfang. Murderfang can't Overwatch, they placed them well so they can't actually see. We need a 9-inch charge here.
The Brayhorn gives me extra 1, so it's 8 I need.
Is it?
Yep, they tootle away.
Okay.
Off we go.
And that's a 5. Trust in the strands of fate.
Fate would like me to reroll this dice.
Would it? Is that what Fate would like?
I'm hearing the Fate tell me.
And that's a 6. That's a failed charge from the Zangors. From the Zangors, back to the middle, the Rubicard, charging through into the Space Wolves. No damage done on Overwatch. It's a 5-inch charge because they're charging through crumbly old craters. And that's an 11. These guys make it in. And the Rubicon make the charge against the Sons of Rust. Stylus was humming and ahhing about whether to do this charge in the end, but
the monkey goaded me to it, and he's going to regret that.
He goaded him in. Plus, you decided you need to push him off that Wolfen objective there. Yeah. And then the last charge was all the way over here. The Spawn that teleported forward last turn, trying to charge through. You did no wounds on Overwatch or 1 wound?
1 wound that I saved.
1 wound that you saved. Okay, now this is an 11-inch re-rollable charge because of psychic shenanigans. Now I can re-roll it. And that's a failed charge. So on this flank, the only charge that got through was the Spawn on the Land Raider, but that'll be enough to shut it down from shooting. And then we've got assaults with Rhinos and the assaults in the middle of the battle grid. Right, so we're starting with the fight in the ruin in the middle. And you've burned 2 command points on what and what now?
On Vengeance for Prospero.
Yes.
Because they're Space Wolves.
Because of Prospero.
Because of Prospero. So now instead of Death to the False Emperor on 6s, Death to the False Emperor triggers on 4s.
4s?
4s.
Nice.
And I've also spent Veterans of the Long War just to kill them.
So these guys were at Tisca.
They were at Tisca. They remember the burning pyramids.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the regular guys hitting on 3s.
Yep. Extra attacks because of Hateful Assault.
Yep. So they miss, but 4 of them explode into more.
Nice. And you got to roll to hit them.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't explode into more. So that's what I've got. And because of veterans, I'll wound on 3s.
Yep.
Yeesh.
That sucked. That was only 3 wounds.
Yeah, and they have no AP.
3 up saves.
Yes!
They still take 2 of them down.
Oh, Prospero. And I get the Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, yep. 3s.
1 explodes.
Yes. So 3 hits.
3 hits. His +1 would mean he'll wound on 2s.
Okay.
So it's Force Stave. Which is +2 for a Force Stave.
So 2s to wound.
So they go through at -1.
Okay. So 2 4-up saves.
Very nice.
And so they took down 3 for Tisca, for Prospero. Right, we're now onto the Mutilith Vortex Beasts charging this Rhino. This one's got a +1 to his AP. We're starting with that one. What does it do? How many attacks, sir?
They start with 4 attacks base.
Right.
They have the Heretic Astartes keyword.
So they get Hateful Assault.
And if I can either fight with my Enormous Claws or my Potentacled Maw. If I fight with my Potentacled Maw, every 1 attack Make 3 hit rolls for each attack instead of 1, so that triples into 15 attacks.
15 attacks?
15 attacks.
As you lick it with your tentacles?
I lick it with my tentacles.
Sounds quite rude. Okay, forced to hit. With his tentacled maw. What strength?
7.
Really?
He's a big guy, look at those muscles.
Okay. Winning on 4s?
Winning on 4s.
And the AP is?
Is -2 because of the power he gave himself.
Okay, so 5 up saves. You take 3 wounds off the rhino. It's got 4 wounds left. Then the other one's going to do it. Yeah. So interestingly enough, these guys don't get death to the false emperor because they don't know who the emperor is, but they do get shock assault because they're heretic Astartes.
I'd say being assaulted by that is quite shocking.
Okay, so they go smashing in. This other one doesn't have -1 to his AP. It's just AP normal -1, and it cost how many?
6 wounds.
6 wounds. 6 more. 4 up saves then to keep the rhino alive. And the rhino's still alive. The rhino has got 2 wounds left. They failed to break through to the other side. Right, we come from the Mutilith Vortex Beast on that rhino versus the Zangors on this rhino. Do they have Death to the False Emperor?
They do not have Death to the False Emperor.
Do they have Hateful Assault?
They may well... No, they don't. That's specifically
They don't
mentioned.
have Hateful Assault or Death to the False Emperor
They are
either.
Heretic Astartes, but they don't get Hateful Assault.
Right, they are Heretic Astartes? Do they have 2 attacks each?
They do, and 1 for the Brayhorn, so I've got 10 in total, so that's 21 attacks.
Nice. And do they hit on 6s with their beaks?
They're on 3s with their Ensorcel things, which are -1 AP.
Okay, so 6s to hit. Where are we going?
Yep.
They'll do.
3s to hit.
3s to hit. 5s to wound. And these are all AP -1?
AP -1 because their swords are better than Heretic Astartes that knock one over. So I think I got 1, 2, 3 wounds at -1.
Just 3. 3 4-up saves on the rhino. And it takes 2 wounds, and this one's down to 3 wounds left. So one's on 3, one's on 2. And now it's time...
A little bit further.
Yes?
Now that he can't intervene, because it's not the end of my charge phase. Just to make...
I wondered why you didn't come all the way around the rhino.
They have a big old 6-inch in heroic intervention. I wasn't keen on that.
Well, sometimes 3 inches is all you need.
Well, sometimes Space Wolves need 6. So
Okay.
now he's tapped up there, so hopefully he can't pull out and he can't shoot me.
Right, okay. Now we're going to go on the Space Wolves in the ruin, in the middle, fighting back. Right, Stella spent a point on Vengeance for Prospero. You're spending a point on the Emperor's Executioners, and basically your Death to the False Emperors explode on a 4-up as well.
3s because Space Wolves get +1 if they're charged, or...
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're hitting on 2s, and on 3s you're generating more hits. Now, you've got a attack each, plus shock assault, plus chainswords on 4 of the guys, and then the dude, the sergeant equivalent's got a power sword. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So all these attacks are coming in, hitting on 2s. These are the guys without the power sword, and 3-ups generate more hits. Beautiful. So with the Emperor's Executioner, you missed with 2. These were 1s. You got these are all hits. Those were 2s.
Yeah, so they're hits.
So they're all hits, but you've got 14 more attacks. This only counts, guys, against Thousand Suns, by the way. This is an old grudge going back 10,000 years. So these more hit on 2s. These are just the chainsaws. Plus, so have you got any 1s at all?
4.
So I'll add those 2 back in. So 4 guys do that number of hits. Crazy. Stylus.
Yes.
4 Space Wolves got 26 hits.
Space Wolves are OP.
Wounding on 4s. All is dust though, so
dust.
failing on 1s only. And there's a chunk of 1s.
Yeah, 3 1s.
3 1s, you kill 3. Right, there's 1 guy left. Now the sergeant hits. He's got 2 attacks plus shock assault, hitting on 2s, and the 3s generate 3-ups, generate 2 more hits. Yep, so that was 5 hits, wounding on 4s. And
oh no,
doesn't kill any.
Web sword.
Ooh, there's 1 chap. He stands firm and defies you. 2 chaps.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And that's the end of the fight phase.
Well,
oh no, we're going to strike back with some rhinos.
We've gone out of sequence the spawn haven't fought yet. They were hiding behind there. I actually see them.
Spawn scratching a land raider. Then we did the fight backs with the vehicles, trying to run over the Thousand Suns and cause no damage. And then in the morale phase, the Thousand Suns passed their morale, and then you spent 2 CP on Howl of the Great Pack. Normally it costs 2 CP to auto pass a morale, but the Wolf Lord howled. He spent 2 CP, and any Space Wolf unit within 12 inches of him automatically passes morale. And they're within 12. And they're within 12. So the Space Wolves heed the call and stand firm. Right, so we're about to go into battle round 2. And at the start of the battle round, before the Space Wolves move, they score if they're in range of these objectives. It's 1 point each so far. And the Space Wolves are within range of that objective, and this objective, and this objective. So they get 3 points. And so as we head into Space Wolves turn 2, it's 4 points to the Astartes and 1 point to the other Astartes. So it's 4 points to 1, and here we are after the Space Wolves movement phase. Now it's quite tricky, this game, because at the start of the next battle round, Stylus will get a point for every Wolfen that he controls, and currently he's controlling 1, only 1. So, yeah. But then Monkey, the Space Wolves, will get a point for everyone that they control, and currently they're on 1, 2, 3. So he had a squad swarming around this particular Wolfen here, and there are Spawn closing in for the kill, a Demon Prince with wings closing in for the kill, and multiple smites here. If he'd have left this unit here, they'd have been smitten and killed to death, he thinks. There's no way, or very little chance, they would have been able to stand at firepower and claws of that magnitude. So he advanced them. He figures they'd die, so he advanced them back inside the Land Raider. Had to spend a command point on the reroll to guarantee them back in the Land Raider, but they all clambered back in the Land Raider there. And I think they're still a full squad of 10, ready to jump out and do some damage next turn. And of course, the Land Raider has pivoted round, and Murderfang and the Land Raider are now controlling that objective, and Murderfang is going to go in against the Spawn. Before the Land Raider pivoted, however, the Wolfen got out, and there's Brunner Ranulf, the Wolf Priest, with them. And I think they're going to make short work of these Angles that dared to trespass into their lines. No movement in the centre. And then back here, the Thunder Cav and the remaining units come round to deal with the Zangors and the Thousand Suns on the right flank, keeping the Lieutenant and Wolf Lord combo within 6 inches of the Sakaran here for the reroll hit rolls and reroll wound rolls of 1. So now we go into the shooting phase. In the shooting phase, pistols fired first, in the middle causing no damage. Now we're around here. What's shooting at what?
So we're going to shoot these two Grey Hunters into the big guys on discs.
2 different packs, so which one are you going for? They're both the same.
So we'll go for these.
Okay.
Okay.
So 1 bolter, hits on 3s. Yes.
Yes.
Toughness 4.
Toughness 4.
Nope. We're going to do the plasma is in double tap range.
Right.
How many wounds they go?
2 each.
So we're overclocking the plasma.
Nice. Yeah, both hit. I'm surprised. 2's to wound. And 5
up inverts.
Okay. From hitting the Zangors on discs, we come down to this pile over here. We have the Wolf Priest firing into the Zangors, hitting on 3s with his Stormbolter. And he's wounding on 4s. That's everything hitting there. And he does 3 wounds. He has got a good aim. They have 5 up saves. But he only takes 1 out. Murderfang, Heavy Flamer into the Spawn. Stormbolter into the Wolfen. Here's the Heavy Flamer. And 6 auto hits. He lights them on fire. Strength 5, Toughness 5, winning on 4s. He doesn't light them on fire. No wounds scored whatsoever. But you've got 4 shots with the Stormbolter into the Wolfen. This will cheer you up.
Into the Wolfen?
Into the, not Wolfen. No, don't shoot them in the back. 3s, 1 hit, and 4s. Okay, so he doesn't, the Wolfen Dreadnought, the Murderfang doesn't hurt anyone. He's just angry.
He's more a punching kind of guy than a shooting kind of guy.
Yeah. So none of the Zangors die. We're now across to the Sakaran, Relic Sakaran, the Twin Accelerator Auto Cannon. That's a mouthful. It's going into unit of 3. And the heavy bolt is into the unit of 4, sorry.
The other way around.
The other way around. The accelerator's into that, the heavy bolt is into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 shots with the accelerator autocannon, hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s because there's a Wolf Lord saying shoot better. And this is strength 7, their toughness 4.
4. So
you're wounding on 3s, but there is a lieutenant right nearby. Re-rolling the 1s, there is no 1. So 5 wounds, 5 up and vulnerable saves. It's a 2 damage weapon. So each failed save will kill 1.
Kill 4.
So no, the accelerator was into the unit 4. Lot. That's good shooting text. Now we have 9 heavy bolters going into the squad of 3. 3s to hit. Re-rolling those 3 1s, and there's a cock dice.
Cock dice with it.
Yeah. Okay. And now we have strength 5, toughness 4 on discs. Discs just make them quicker, right?
Just tough 4, yeah.
Yeah, so 3's to wound. And then re-rolling the 1. And these are all 5 up and vulnerable saves again, but these do only 1 damage each, and the dudes on discs have 2 wounds.
Save 3 of them, so 1 falls.
And that was the end of the shooting phase. Wiping out a unit of Zangors over there was fairly useful, but this is a choppy chop army, and now we're into the choppy chop phase. Murderfang charged into the spawn, but staying close enough to the Wolfen objective, the supply drop objective. There's the Wolf Priest giving everything around him re-roll hit rolls, and the Wolfen came piling in to the Zangors down here. No Overwatch, of course. And then talking about piling into Zangors, this is what happened over this flank. The Space Wolves have charged all the way around there. Their objective secured, trying to get close to that objective there. But also we've got a Lieutenant, a Wolflord, Thundercav, all crashing into this unit here. However, Stullis does have 3 command points in his hand. He could pay to interrupt somewhere. So where are we starting, Monkey?
Tough choice, but I think I need to start with the Wolflord.
Yes.
If he kills 1,
yes,
he'll unlock his super bonus, and we can go 1.
Sagas will be sung. So yeah, if he kills 1 more target, anything within 6 inches of him get a +1 attack every time they go in. So he's got 4 attacks. +1 for his Relic, +1 for his Saga, +1 for Shock Assault is 7 attacks. He hits on 2s because he's a Space Wolf. And he rerolls 1s because he's a Wolf Lord. Yeah, sure, that's cocked. Everything hits. And you're wounding these pesky Zangors on 2s.
Rerolling 1s.
Yep. And there's a 1 to reroll.
Well done, Nigel.
5 up saves.
He's not Nigel.
No, Nigel made him reroll the 1.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
I save 2 of them, so that's 5 dead. It's taken from here. Sorry, Nigel.
So that means the Lieutenant won't get to fight. Right, the Wolf also gets to attack. This happens all at the same time. The Wolf hits on 2s. Doesn't he hit on 2s?
Yep.
Yeah. And he's strength 5 or something?
5, yeah.
Yep, okay. 3's to wound, re-rolling the 1.
Well done, Nigel.
3 more wounds. 5 up in Vuns. And he killed 2 more, which might take the remaining Thundercav out of close combat. So we've pulled models away, and it looks like this. And then Stullis is spending 2 command points to interrupt. And then you're moving models around. So if we explain what we're doing here.
Right, so what I need to do is I've taken some models away, so he's now out of 3 inches, so he can't fight.
Yes.
They are still within 3 inches of him, so they could still pile in and fight, and there's a lot of attacks there.
Yes.
So he is going to pile in towards the closest enemy model, which is this one.
Yes.
So he's going to do that.
Right.
That will put him closest.
And it gets them out of the fight.
They're out of the fight. So
okay.
Everyone else piles in, so he would have to pile in towards the rhino to touch it.
But you can move up to 3, so you have to try and remain in coherency where possible. So now you're in coherency.
He can pile in. So of the Zangor, 5 of them can fight these 2 Marines.
Okay, so spending 2 command points to interrupt. These guys fighting the Marines and pulling away so the Thundercav can't get in close combat.
The reason being for that is...
That's tricksy stuff.
That is tricksy stuff. I need to... This is my only point when my next turn happens, because I'm not in any control of any of the battle.
Yeah, at the start of turn 3, you're going to get a point for that one, but not for that one, not for any of the other ones. So and it's 4 points to 1.
Interrupt, hope I kill them, and hope that what's left passes its morale.
Yeah.
And then I'll get the point.
Oh yeah, because you've also lost a chunk, and morale is a thing.
So morale's going to be a thing.
And you've got 1 command point left, so you can't burn 2 to do the heroic morale thing. So now these 5 Zangors have to kill these Space Wolves, because we've seen that Space Wolves tend to have quite a lot of attacks when they decide to fight. And they're not going to be fighting Rubikai have got 2 up save. They're going to be fighting Zangors that have a 5 up save. And you don't really want to lose any more because of morale. Okay, so good luck.
Okay, so hitting on 3s.
Yes. Winning on 4s.
And that
what did you get?
4 to save at -1.
Okay. And there's 2 Space Wolves, brave Space Wolves hanging in there. And at -1, you do lose them, so the gamble pays off there, Stylus. And then we did the attack on the Rhino and it didn't do anything. And then the Cav used the movement to move forward but sticking to terrain and giving the rest of the Thousand Suns and the Zangor some threats to think about in turn 3. And then we're coming over here to this flank, to the Wolfen and Murderfang. So we're doing Murderfang first. If he makes a successful charge, he gets +2 attacks with Murderlust, plus an extra 1 for Shock Assault. So many attacks hitting on 2s because it's a Space Wolf.
Rerolling because of Brother Ranulph.
Nice. He's very angry. And he's Strength huge. And so he's wounding on 2s and rerolling because they are Frost Claws.
Yep.
And rerolling. And that is AP -3
yes.
or AP -3, 3 damage.
I'll just pick these up.
Wow, that would have. That's a, yeah, they're dead. Right, onto the Wolfen. There's 4 guys here with hammers, so that's 16 attacks because of Wolfen and Shock Assault. Hitting on 3s because of Space Wolves. Rerolling a hit because of the thing of that. And you're spending command point on the Emperor's Executioners again. So Death to the Correct Emperor kicks in on a 4-up. So 3s to hit. And then re-rolling everything. Re-rolling. And all those 4s generate more attacks. Wow. Alright, so Monkey said a little bit of we just came out because he's got 14 more hits on 3s. And he can re-roll these as well. Re-rolling. Wow. Okay, so just those 4 Wolfen managed to score 24 hits. And you're wounding on 2s because you're strength 10, right?
Yes. Here we go.
Yeah. Ouch. 5 up in vulnerable saves. On the beaky guys in blue. Oh, that looks really bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 2 surviving.
2 left.
2 left.
The Great Foss stacks now. Gets an additional attack on the charge, so it's 5 attacks. These hit on 2s, right?
Yep.
And then the 3, that's 4 more hits, dude, with the Emperor's Executioner. Oh, and you re-roll the 2. Because the brother ran off.
Is it?
Oh yeah, because you're Space Wolves. So the axe dude scores a lot. 9 more hits. Now you need a wound.
Okay.
So 3s to wound. This is crazy.
2s to wound.
2s to wound.
Because it's +3 strength.
Right. Oh yeah, and your
strength
strength.
5 base.
Okay, 2s to wound. Space Wolves, they're angry. 5s, no, the squad's wiped out. And you had some more stuff in there, claws and things like that. And okay, so Murderfang did his business. The Wolfen did their business. They can now consolidate. And that was absolutely glorious, the Wolfen smashing through that. What was that, Styrus?
I said I hate it when Wolfen do their business on the table.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone get a plastic bag.
So we have a morale test to take
We've
over
got
here.
fighting in the middle.
Oh, fighting in the middle. Oh yeah, that was the charging units. Now we're on to the static units punching away. So 4 Wolfguard with chainswords. They didn't charge this turn, so they're just hitting on 3s now, right? Because they didn't charge. No shock assault. 3s to hit. This is back down to earth normal stuff. And then 4s to wound. There is a power sword after all these guys go through. So that caused 2 wounds, Stylus. That's normal.
Save,
yeah, 2 up.
all is dust.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. And then a power sword, 2 attacks with Wolfguard. And he hits once and wounds once.
Okay, and it's a 4-up save because my Weaver of Fate's invulnerable save.
Yep.
No, so I lose the last Rubukai. So it's just the sorcerer who's going to strike back.
Now the sorcerer, standing on his own, has 2 attacks. He hits on 3s with his 4 stave. He hits.
Twice.
Winning on 3s.
He
Wounds twice. AP minus
1.
-1 on the stave. Forced to save. He takes 2 with him. And that is the end of Space Wolves. Turn 2, and what a turn. Zangor's cut down on the right, on foot and on discs. The middle he's managed to hold. And the stuff that came dropping in the back lines, well, they got murder-lusted and murder-fanged and ripped apart from the wolf. And there still is quite a presence for the Thousand Sons, Rubukai and the Terminators, the Mutilated Vortex Beasts and the Princes in the backfield, still quite a presence. But more importantly, you have a morale test to take, and if this is bad...
They lost 8, their leadership is 7.
Okay. 4 plus...
Just where that 4 plus 8 is 12.
Yeah.
So I lose 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leaving the Twist Bray in charge of the objective.
Okay.
Fate is kind.
And that's so important because
That's my only
at the
point.
start of your turn, you're going to get a point if you hold on to that objective. So at the start of battle round 3, we're going to roll off, and these objectives might move, so let's do that right now. So Stylus, you roll up a 1. Monkey rolls up a 6, and now Monkey can move that objective 3 inches away. Oh no! And so the Wolfen runs away from the Zangle here, meaning that at the start of the turn, Stylus won't get any point. Oh, mind you, if this dog manages to run, this could be a thing. Right, let's roll up Stylus. Let's see what we get. Monkey?
Yes!
What?
I got a 2, you got a 1. That means Mr. Wolf
he's
can
yours.
go this way.
Right.
Making me and the drop pod the only ones within 3 inches of it.
Right.
And I'm objective secured.
So at the start of your turn, you'll get a point. You will get a point.
You will get a point.
You lost that one ran away.
Lost that one.
But you're like, here boy, to this one. Okay, so let's roll up this one here. This one is a Stylus.
This one here?
Yes. Because you could make it get away from him.
Yes, I can.
That's a 5 versus a 4, so you can move that 3 inches away. So the fates have turned. That one moved away from these 2 Space Wolf units, and this one moved away from the Space Wolf lines back towards the spawn as well. Now we're about to go into Stylus's, the Thousand Suns, turn 3. It was 4 points to 1 at the start of the player turn. It'll be 4 points to 2. But more importantly, in Monkey's turn, he's not going to be holding that one, or that one, or that one. Or that one, which is interesting. So it will remain 4 points to 2 at the end of turn 3. So you're catching up.
And let's see who gets the command point.
Yes. And on a 4,
Me.
you get a command point. On a 1, it would have been 1,000 Suns. Okay.
1,000 Suns.
Would have been the Space Wolves. Right, that's it for the bookkeeping. Let's go on to 1,000 Suns, turn 3. Here we are after the 1,000 Suns movement phase and part way into the Psychic phase. The spawn are clambering over this Wolfen here. And the Mutilith Vortex Beasts are trying to batter their way past this Rhino. It's on 1 wound left because he smit it and only took 1 wound off. And this Sorcerer has been tickling with the boon again and again and again. And now he's got plus 3 inches to his move. Gaze of Fate has also gone off. Now down here, this Sorcerer stayed locked up in combat with the Space Wolves, and his brothers are trying to relieve him. And then we had the Zangors pulled back round this side, except for the one lone Zangor on that Wolfen there, and the Rubikai who were inside this ruin have pushed out. So this flank looks a bit weaker for the 1,000 Suns, but there isn't much opposing them. Down here, they have got a much stronger push. The Demon Prince is here, and we're now trying to cast Warp Time on him.
Indeed, need a 6 for this.
And that passes.
That goes off.
Then the Demon Prince, with Warp Time, jumped forward over here behind Murderfang. He's going to try and take him on, and smitten him, put a wound on Murderfang. He's down to 7 wounds left. And then the Sorcerer smit this Rhino here, which was on 1 wound remaining, and it's gone. Does the Rhino blow up, actually? The Rhino does not blow up, but finally you've cleared the robot block in the centre. So the Rhino's gone, and then in the middle there is only 1 Space Wolf now, because one got smitten from that Sorcerer, another one got smitten from this Sorcerer over here, 2 brothers falling, leaving 1 remaining. Then we're coming across here, what are they doing again?
They are going to do the special Cult of Duplicity thing, which is Sorcerer's Facade.
Yeah.
They're only going to jump that way, which is still 9 inches away from the enemy, but given that's where the objective is, it's a better place to be if your objective's secured.
Getting closer to the objective. And that passes. So the Rubrikai jumped to the right, getting closer to this objective here, still staying 9 inches away from the enemy. And one of the Thundercav died, because there was a battery of smite coming out from here, which killed the lead Thundercav. I believe that's it for the Psychic phase.
1 more power of Prescience.
Right.
That I'm going to put on the Scarabs. I do with a 7.
So the Scarab Occult Terminators
Prescience.
will be hitting on 2s, which means their Warp Bolters are going to be brutal. Let's move on to the shooting phase. So we opened up the shooting phase. The Mutilith Vortex Beasts, the only thing that was useful to them was the beam of unreality slamming into the Land Raider, and the 2 Sorcerers as well fired into the Land Raider, and it's down to 5 wounds left. We had a pistol here that missed. Now this unit of Rubikai are threading the needle through the ruins, through the gaps, to try and take out the last Thunderwolf cavalry. Hitting on 3s. 2 hits and winning on 5s.
2 wounds. Target acquired.
Target acquired, my friend.
-2.
3 up and vulnerable saves though. He has a shield. And he's fine, he loves it. Okay, now we're on to the Scarab Occult Terminators, burning that command point to fire twice again, the new stratagem. The missile launchers are going to slam into the Rhino. The cannon and all the combi bolters are going into the last remaining Thundercav.
Missiles first.
Yes, hitting on 2s because of prescience. They both hit.
Strength on 3s because strength 8.
Yes. 1 wound at -2. So a 5 up save on the Rhino. It takes 3.
D3.
D3. Oh, it's only got 2 left. And then we have the remaining shots going into the Thundercav.
Solely per cannon.
Okay. 2s to hit. 3 hits.
Strength 5.
4s to wound.
So
2 wounds.
coming in.
3 up in buns. He takes a wound. He's got 2 left. And now combi bolters.
4 combi bolters.
4 times 4, hitting on 2s. Many shots. Wounding on 5s. 4
wounds at -2.
4 more 3 up and vulnerable saves, monkey. For the Emperor and all that. He's still alive. And now Infernal Fusillade kicks in, firing twice with rapid fire weapons, hitting the Thundercav all over again on 2s. Going on 5s. Look, many 6s. A Yahtzee of 6s. He's the correct Emperor.
That's the correct Emperor then.
3s to wound. 3 up saves. What am I talking about? 3 up and vulnerable saves. The Thundercav is on 1 wound left. So you're going to try and kill him with bows and arrows.
So 2 pairs of bows and arrows in there.
Okay.
Hitting on 2s, 5s will auto wound.
Okay.
Mildred boosting them.
Because the Shaman.
There's all hits, but there's no auto wounds.
Right.
There's strength 5, so wound on 4s.
Okay.
That's 3s at -1.
Okay. 3 more 3 up and vulnerable saves. He's still alive. He's hanging in there. He will not die. Die, bend. Well, it's exciting.
He's a legend, is what he is.
That's not rapid fire, is it? So we're going to have to... I'll put the pistol into the Rhino.
Right.
The warp flame is out of range and 3 shots.
3 shots. Okay.
Hitting on 3s.
Yes.
Wounding on 5s. Yes, 1.
1 wound. Just 1.
On the Rhino?
On that guy.
On the Cav.
On the Cav.
Pistol hits the Rhino and doesn't wound, and not spending the command point on that Thundercav there because, as Monkey said, he's got Emperor's Executioner, seems to be working out very well for him against Thousand Suns. So that's the shooting on this flank. It took a lot of gun to do it, but finally you took out that last remaining Thundercav. In fact, I think that's the shooting, across the line. So that's the shooting and the psychic phase done. Rhino brought down, the Crusader crippled. We have a Demon Prince charging into Murderfang through flame and Stormbolter fire. And is there any charges going to be happening up here?
Mutiliths will be going into the Land Raider.
Right, so there's a lot of firepower there.
It's a long old charge, but I can't get Overwatch, so they're going to multi-charge the pod and this last guy. So that's going to be a 10-inch charge. Let's
see if we can make this 10-inch charge, seeing as there's no Overwatch here. No, that's a failed charge. So they're not going to be joining in with their brothers.
I've got Gaze of Fate if I need it.
Do you want to re-roll it?
Not for this one.
And so, round here, both Mutilith Vortex Beasts made it into contact with the Land Raider Crusader, one of them taking damage on Overwatch as he came charging in. The Demon Prince of Tzeentch made it into Murderfang. He took a wound on the way in as well. And Ranulf, the Wolf Priest, Chaplain / Priest Healer, has heroically intervened at the end of that charge phase there. So he can't get struck, the Chaplain, but he will have a chance to fight back. So big mosh up in the mosh pit down here. There was some more charges failed over this flank and no damage done on Overwatch. So let's start the fight phase.
Last command point.
Yes.
Vengeance for Prospero.
Right.
On the Demon Prince.
So death to the correct Emperor on 4s.
Death to any old Emperor.
And he's got a pair of Malefic Talons, so that's 7 attacks plus 1 for Shock Assault, 8 attacks.
6 attacks.
Hitting on 2s.
Exploding on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Yeah.
All on Murderfang.
All on Murderfang. Rerolling the 1s. And those 4s, because this Demon Prince was around at the time of Prospero, gets you extra attacks.
So that's 4 extra attacks.
Yep, which you'll be able to reroll 1s with.
Indeed.
Thousand Suns and Space Wolves really don't like each other, do they?
So that's all my hits.
So did you get 12 hits out of...
I believe I did.
Out of 8 attacks.
Those are my hits.
Okay.
Strength 7 now, isn't it?
Toughness 7. Wounding on 4s. That could have been better, Stylus.
It could.
That was only 5 wounds at -2. 2 damage. Murderfang's got 7 wounds remaining, so 5 to keep him alive. And that is 6 damage. He's got 1 wound left. It didn't do it. Right, then we did a Mutalith Vortex Beast attacks on the Land Raider Crusader. They were hitting on 4s and wounding on 5s at AP -1 with a 2-up save. Did no damage.
Did nothing.
They're just licking the paintwork there. And that's the end of the Thousand Suns. Yeah, that's the end of the charging models. Now we have your Hero Sorcerer with his stave attacking that last priest.
Have it.
Space Wolf, sorry. Hitting on 3s. That's a hit with his 4 stave. Winning on a that wounds. -1. 4-up save on the guy in the middle.
3-up and vulnerable because he's got a Storm Shield.
Oof.
Okay. And he holds firm. He didn't need his invulnerable save. The Wolf Guard pack leader stands there. Now it's time for the Space Wolves to fight back. 2 attacks back. Hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. And he wounds once, but a 2-up save with a Thousand Sun Sorcerer. And these two continue to battle toe to toe. And then we have Murdervang versus a Demon Prince. We're starting off with the Wolf Priest, actually. Brother Ranulph has got 4 attacks because of Shock Assault. He hits on 2s with his Crozius Arcanum. And he's wounding on 5s. And it's -1, 2 damage. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 1 wound. 1 4-up save.
Yes.
And the Demon takes it. Right, Murderfang, +1 attack for Shock Assault. 6 attacks, and you're spending that CP on the Emperor's Executioners one more time. He hits on 3s.
Hits on 2s.
Oh yeah, he hits on 2s, is Space Wolf. Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
Explodes on 3s.
Yeah, 2s to hit. Rerolling the 1s because there's a Wolf Priest nearby. And you get 5 more attacks with the Emperor's Execution, which hit on 2s. And you can reroll the hit.
Whoa!
There's 4 1s. Okay, that worked. So out of his base 5 attacks, he's got like 28 hits. He's strength 6, times 2 is strength 12, and a demon is toughness 6.
Yep.
So you're winning on 2s.
Reroll it.
Yeah, and the murder claws reroll fair wounds. And these are all -3
could do with quite a lot of 4-up
damage. But you're a Demon Prince of Zinch. You have a 4-up and vulnerable save. 7 wounds to get through.
Come on, Zinch.
4s.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15 damage.
Okay.
The Demon Prince falls.
Might be a good time to use the Hourglass of Manat relic.
I don't know what that is.
It's part of the Cult of Time that I give the Demon Prince. When he is slain at the end of the phase, return him to life on D3 wounds.
Wow.
Okay.
Manats are quite strong.
So how many wounds to get back up on? Just 1.
Luckily, Gaze of Fate I forgot to use earlier when I was killing Murderfang, so let's re-roll that.
Okay.
We can do better. Yes,
1.
He's back on 1 wound, an inch away from everybody.
Yeah.
So
but he's not dead.
But he's not dead. He might be dead next time.
Interesting. So that's the end of the Thousand Suns turn 3. We're about to go to the Space Wolves turn 3, and at the start of their turn they control 0 objectives. So they won't get any points. So it'll still be 4 points to the Thousand Suns and 2 points to the Space Wolves. The Space Wolves need to push back hard in this corner. With the Wolfen, with Murderfang, they'll definitely be pressured. They've definitely been pressed in here. And try and reclaim these wandering Wolfen, these wandering objectives. So let's head on to Space Wolves turn 3. Right, turn 3 movement is complete for the Space Wolves. The Wolf Lord continues up the table on this side, ordering the Rhino forward as well, trying to secure this Wolfen here. And the Wolf Brother in the centre has broken out of combat to try and get after this Wolfen here. This game is as much about denying your opponent objectives and as it is scoring them yourself. If it had stayed locked up in combat with that sorcerer, then that sorcerer Stylus would have automatically got a point at the start of turn 4 if the Wolfen had stayed there, not wandered off somewhere. So this way, trying to deny Stylus the point there, trying to deny the point to the Thousand Suns here. It's 4 points to 2, and if you deny the points going forward, and Stylus can't get any more, then the Space Wolves will win this game. However, There's nothing that they're doing about this objective over here with the spawn. It looks like a guarantee point for the 1,000 Suns over here. Much shuffling with this big mess with the Land Raider Crusader. It's now out of combat. Wolfen can advance and charge, so it looks like they're heading straight into the jaws of hell, straight at these Mutalith Vortex beasts here, and Murderfang and Brother Ranulph are going to finish off the Demon Prince, so there's going to be a crunch going here. Not much shooting in this corner, and with the Sakaran moving over here, it's going to be hitting on 4s, but it is in Lieutenant and Captain range for the rerolls on this flank. Starting off the shooting phase, the Sakaran is going to unload everything into the Terminators back here because he's got the charges. The Wolf Lord up here saying, I got this. Shoot past my shoulder. So 4s to hit with the Accelerator autocannon. And re-rolling any 1s. There are no... Oh, there is a 1. 3s to wound, re-rolling 1s. And you said 6s are OP -3.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is a 5-up save.
5-up in the
which you make.
Yay.
And the other one is just a -1.
So it's going to be a 3-up armor save, which I don't make.
And that's 2 damage, killing another one. We've
For
been
the
here
moment.
before. Heavy bolters, 4s, and rerolling 1s. That was 4 hits with the rerolls and winning on 3s. And 3 at -1, but they're 1 damage, so you get a +1, right?
2 ups.
Rerolling 1 for Nigel,
2
sorry.
ups.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rerolling 1s. 4.
2 ups to save.
2 ups to save, yes.
1 on 1 wound.
Nigel, the Lieutenant, fired out and actually killed one of these guys with a 2-up save. We didn't put it on camera because 2-up save, but 1 died. And then Wolf Lord chucking a crack grenade at what?
In the rubrics.
With the rubrics, okay.
2s.
Yes. Hits and wounds on A3. And reroll a wound because of Nigel, the Lieutenant. Hit wounds at -1.
It's a dead rubric.
It's a dead rubric because it's D3 damage. Yeah, he kills 1. So that's the shooting down this side. Basically, a rubric, A. Terminator has died. Over here, we have Storm Bolters from Brother Ranulph going into the Demon Prince, hitting on 3s and wounding on 5s because he is a Demon Prince. He gets 1 wound through.
Okay,
Will it be death by Storm
If
Bolter?
he's scared to face him in combat, I understand. He's alive.
He's still alive. Murderfang can set him on fire though with his heavy flamer of Storm Bolters.
We'll run off, point the weapons in the right direction for Murderfang this time.
Yeah, last time he didn't hurt anything.
This way.
Yeah.
D6.
That's the dangerous end.
5 auto hits, which will wound on 5s. 1 wound at -1, sir. 1 4-up save. He fails the save. The demon is burned.
Smells
alive.
toasty.
He opens a hole in the warp and jumps back into it.
The only good demon is a toasty demon. And that was the end of the shooting phase. And then we moved on to the charge phase. The Wolf Lord has got in with the Rubikai here, and Nigel's got in there too. So these guys are in trouble. And then around here, rolling a big 8 on the Wolfen, and they've gone charging into both of the Mutalith Vortex beasts, wrapped all the way around here. Interestingly enough, they are still 6 inches away from the Wolf Priest there for those all-important rerolls. And both me and Stylus was asking Monkey, what are you doing? Going all the way that far, wrapping all the way around. He said, well, the idea is to kill them utterly. It's going to be easy. And then pile out that way towards the spawn and get my Wolfen back. So we'll see if that happens as we move on to the fight phase. So that's the charges. We're moving on to the fight phase, and we really want to see Nigel do some work. Now, he's a Primaris battle leader.
Yes.
So he's got 4 attacks base. He gets +1 for Shock Assault, +1 for the Saga, and +1 for the Wolfenstone. So he's actually got 7 attacks on the charge. Good old Nigel. And he's in on 2s. Has he got Power Axe or something?
Power Axe.
Nice.
Rerolling 1s?
Yep, hit on 2s. Rerolling 1s, so there's a Wolf Lord encouraging him, saying, if you don't kill this thing, I will flay you alive. And okay, they all get through. 3s to wound, because it's a Power Axe. And rerolling 1s, because he's Nigel. So that Zangor's got to make 5 up invulnerable saves.
No problem. Bit of a problem.
He's dead. Nigel's slain his first, but I think this guy's earned himself a name. He's killed a Zangor.
He should be known as Nigel from now on.
Well done, Nigel. And now we're on to the Wolf Lord. 7 attacks, 2s to hit. Rerolling 1s. 2s to wound. Rerolling 1s because of Nigel. That sounds French.
5-up saves.
5 up invulnerable saves. Your Wolf Lord
4
kills
gone, and
4.
I've got 4 left.
And it looks like this, choosing not to consolidate any further forward. I mean, the objective is right there. So now we're coming across here to Wolfen, and you're spending that favourite command point one more time on Vengeance for Cadia. What's it called? Vengeance for Prospero.
Emperor's Executioners.
The Emperor's Executioners are going to execute one more time, and this time they're going to take on more...
Mutalith Vortex Beasts.
Yeah, that's the one. Right, we've got 3 hammers hitting this wounded Mutalith Vortex Beast, hitting on 3s, because they're Space Wolves, and exploding on 4s. Oh, re-rolling all failed hit rolls. Nice. 6 more attacks, 3s to hit, with that in, and re-rolling the thing. This is absolutely brutal. Your strength 10. You're wounding on 3s. There's no re-rolls to this though, but it is a flat 3 damage Thunderhammer. So this is going to be nasty. 12 got through, 13 wounds to dig through, but each of these is going to do a flat 3 damage. 5 up and vulnerable saves. Let's see if the warp protects.
It does not.
It does not. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, that's many. Now these blow up, right?
Oh, they implode.
They implode.
They implode.
Yes! You seem quite excited by that, Stylus.
It doesn't often happen. When it does,
yes.
Warp implosion.
Yes.
Roll a d6. If it goes off a 6, then each unit within 6 inches suffers d6 mortal wounds.
D6?
What? D6 mortal wounds. That's
D6.
The vortex is opened,
right.
And anyone foolish enough to be within it is getting sucked right down it.
Okay, so let's do this then. So the Land Raider Crusader.
We get a Land Raider Crusader down the hole.
What is that?
That's just a 1.
That's just the 1. So the Land Raider is on 4. Okay.
For the Wolfen.
Wolfen, okay.
5 mortal wounds.
How many do they have each? 2?
And they have 2.
2 wounds.
So 2 of them get dragged down into the warp, and one of them gets his arms ripped off.
One of his buddy.
And yeah, the Mutalith Vortex Beast next to there.
That's 2.
Okay. Right, before we remove some models, because technically all these Wolfen attack these 2 Mutalith, those guys, at the same time, we're going to do the remaining attacks on this dude. So there's one more hammer left, hitting this beast on A3, and re-rolling to hit, and 4s explode. Okay, so 6 hits, 5 hits, sorry, and you're wounding on 3s, and so you need 3 5 up and vulnerable saves, please, Stylus. And so that's 6 damage. It's down to 6 left. Then you got the dude with the axe, and this dude hits on 2s because he's a Space Wolf.
Explode on 3s.
Reroll and hit. Okay, so 4 more attacks because we have exploding Vengeance for Prospero. So yeah, that 2 hit.
Yep, sorry. Sorry, 2
So all of those hit. It's strength plus 3, right? Yeah. So you're strength 8. What toughness are these? Okay, 3s to wound. Okay, many 5 up invulnerable saves for the beast.
It's AP -1 at least.
-3.
-3, yeah, so 5 up invuln.
How much damage is it?
D3.
D3, so 4 D3 damage, 6 to get through, and the claws haven't even spoken yet. So yeah, it's dead.
Can I implode a second?
Don't implode. I'm supposed to be neutral, but...
Oh, God! Are you serious?
Don't mess with the warp.
Okay, so let's do that again. This one gets sucked down a hole. That one goes, and the big warp storm appears here. D6 on the Land Raider. And it gets dragged into the warp. You lost 2 Wolfen and 1's on a wound.
Does this explode?
Oh no, chain reaction. Because yeah, as it got dragged down, maybe armor plates got pulled off of it and a spark lit. Right, you lost 2 plus another D6 on the Wolfen. Okay, so you've lost 4.5 Wolfen for that assault, but sagas will be sung because that was an epic explosion, and you're slightly happy about yourself.
To frankness, the most they've done close combat ever, so I'm very happy about that.
And there's a big hole all of a sudden, and morale is a thing because that's the end of the turn. Their leadership's 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you lost 4. Good luck. Oh dear. And they shall know no fear?
Wait, 2 seconds.
Right, there's a thing. Brother Ranulph, spiritual leader, he's a chaplain. You can use his morale instead of the leadership of the Wolfen, so long as they're within 6 inches of him. And Monkey's telling me that's why they left this guy in place. It's 5 and a bit inches away. Leadership 9 plus 4 is 9. They hold. Ranulph is saying, no! Stand firm, brothers. stand firm, and that is the end of Space Wolves turn 3. That was an epic explosion at the end of the turn. What a way to round out a turn. Oh no, we need to hit a drop pod over here in the drop pod. So the Sorcerer and the drop pod did no damage to each other. Now that's the end of turn 3. 4 points to 2 in favour of the Space Wolves. And at the start of battle round 4, the Wolfen are going to move on again. And at the start of your turn, Stylus, you're currently controlling... You're not controlling that one.
No.
This one is contested.
Yes.
You're not controlling that one. You have got that one.
Yes.
So currently is 4-2 in favour of the Space Wolves. Let's roll off and see if you manage to hold on to this one.
Okay.
So Stylus, let's roll up.
Okay.
You get a 2 and the Space Wolves get a 2. So that one stays firm. So at the start of your turn you will get a point. Let's do this one because you want it to run away from him to deny Monkey the point. You get a 6. That one's staying firm.
This is the critical.
This
one could make a difference.
Yes.
We're going here.
6 and a 2.
So if I run him that way, that's no longer in 3 inches, and it's within 3 inches of the drop pod on me, and I'm objective secured. So I claim it.
Okay. And then over here. 1 and a 1. So that one stays firm. So at the start of your turn,
yes,
you'll get 2 points.
1, 2.
You'll get a point for this one, a point for that one, making it 4 each.
Yes.
In Monkey's turn, if he's still alive on here, he'll get a point, and if he's still alive there, he'll get a point, making it 6-4. But currently, as we roll into turn 4, it is 4 points to the Thousand Suns, 4 points to the Space Wolves. Let's do that command point thing to see who gets one. And you rolled a 3, so no one gets one. As we head on to Thousand Suns, turn 4. Quick edit, we remembered the 10 guys in the Land Raider. They die on 1s, and 2 of them die. And we've agreed that this is probably the right placement next to Brother Ranulph there. Now we go on to Thousand Suns, turn 4. Right, so Thousand Suns movement phase. They're moving around to try and smite and kill and shoot the Wolf Lord off of this objective here and hold on to this objective. In the middle, the Rubikai move forward. And then round here, the Spawn move forward to take on the Wolf. And meanwhile, the Sorcerer on the disc that was up there has jumped down to hold on to that puppy. So now we go into the Psychic phase. You're trying to resurrect a Terminator again.
Yep, it doesn't matter that he's wounded, I don't think. I can just return 1 destroyed model with all its wounds. So on a 6, the time fluxes.
And you get a Terminator back again. So you were down 5 to 4 to back to... Yeah, twice. You've done that twice now.
Done that twice.
What else are we doing?
I'll smite the Rhino. I need to get him out of the way so all the rest of the smites can go into the Lord.
Okay.
So this guy does a big smite. That goes off. And it causes, I need at least 2 mortal wounds. Causes 2 mortal wounds.
Does the Rhino detonate on a 6?
We've had a lot of that.
We've had a lot of that recently. It does not, which does clear the path for the remaining smites on the Wolf Lord.
His second power will be Prescience on the Terminators.
Okay.
Doesn't go off.
Right.
So Mildred will now smite the Wolf Lord.
The Shaman.
The Zango Shaman. That goes off.
Right.
And it causes
2 wounds. He's down to 3 left.
Got a mini smite coming against him.
Okay, from the Terminators. Perils?
And there's nothing I can do about it.
Did you do your Gaze of Fate thing yet?
Gaze of Fate belonged to the Demon Prince who has since left us.
And you have no command points?
I have no command points, so I didn't claim any back, so I get 2 mortal wounds. So one of them, 1 wound dies, and the other one takes a mortal wound. So
the one you
easy
just
come, easy go.
That's the Strands of Fate for you.
Back into the warp with you.
Okay, is that all the psychic stuff from here?
Yes.
So he's got 3 wounds left, and you're going to have to try and kill and shoot and charge him the old-fashioned way.
Easy peasy.
Interesting stuff. What is this unit in the middle doing?
Now, the Sorcerer who's on his own
is
going to cast the Cult of Duplicity Sorcerer's Facade, but he's not going to cast it on himself. He can do it within 6 inches. So he's going to cast it on them.
Right.
This would jump them out of the battlefield, and I'll get it on a 7.
And that's a fail.
That is unfortunate.
Trying to jump back and do some shenanigans there.
I was.
Right, then the squad in the middle put Weaver of Fates on the Terminators, getting their save up to a 4 up. Now we're coming down here. You're trying to Death Hex the Wolfen.
Death Hex the Wolfen on an 8. Doesn't happen.
Ooh, that's important because that would have stripped their invulnerable save away.
Let's just smite them.
Okay. Good old-fashioned smite. Oh, that fails.
He won't smite them.
Okay. That passes, and that's a super smite.
Super smite.
D6 mortal wounds on the Wolfen. Oh no. For 2. 2. That does kill another Wolfen, however, leaving only 2 remaining.
And he will boon of Zinch himself to really juice his power up.
Yes.
On a 5, that doesn't happen.
Okay. We just made a mistake, and we just spotted it, and it's early enough to correct it. Wolfen have a 5-up feel no pain. So you took 2 feel no pains this turn, and we think we had 8 last time. It might have been more. But they ignore wounds on a 5+. So this doesn't change the shape of the battle at all. It just means you get to put some Wolfen back. So ignoring wounds on a 5. Drop dice don't count. Did you get any 5s?
2.
2. So you just ignored the 2 wound smite that just came through. That's what Zinch willed. And that's it for the shooting phase. Now the Death Hex didn't go off, but the Terminators are powered up. We're on to the shooting phase. We have a combi bolter coming down into these wolf dudes down here, hitting on 3s.
3 hits.
And wounding on 4s. And it does a wound. It is AP minus. Yeah. 5-up save on these guys. Them.
Sorry. 1 save?
Yes.
Yep.
They save.
Pistol into the Wolfen.
Hits.
Doesn't wound.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot that goblin I've got. Let's start with the Flamer. 3 auto hits. For 1 wound so far, -2.
+1 in cover.
Yep.
4 up.
Okay, and then got 2 rapid fires.
Hitting on
Only
3s.
2 hit.
Okay, force to wound.
1 wound, -2.
-1 because of the cover. So he manages to stand firm, wreathed in flame. And so this wolf guard stands firm. Now we're over here. The Terminator's putting everything they can into the Wolf Lord. There's no command points, no shenanigans going on here. It's just good old-fashioned gunplay. So here's all the combi bolters hitting on 3s. Winning on 5s. And he needs to make a Storm Shield save. How many is
He needs
that?
to make 5 Storm Shield
5
saves.
3-ups. He takes a wound. Okay.
Then the Soul Reaper Cannon.
Yes. Is it heavy?
It is heavy, but how all his dust means I don't suffer the penalties for moving and firing heavy
Nice.
weapons. 4s to wound.
Strength 5, toughness 5. 3
-3,
more.
but on your Storm Shield again.
Okay. 3 more 3-up saves. He's down to 1 wound.
Okay, and now the missiles.
Yes. Both hit.
hit.
3s to wound.
2 wounds. -2s on the Storm Shield.
And what? It's your last command point. You're spending your last command point to keep your warlord alive. And he holds his shield up high and he lives on 1 wound left. And
I've got a pistol,
you got a pistol.
which misses. I've got 2 bows.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot through.
Characters don't block characters.
Can they both see?
Can they both see?
Only one can see.
In that case, the one that can see Nigel will shoot Nigel.
Right.
The one that can shoot Nivag will shoot Nivag. So this is the one on him.
Okay.
And they're getting the benefits from her, so +2 to hit and 5's auto wound.
Right.
2 hits.
Okay.
5 strength 5. That's 6 cock dice. So that one misses, doesn't wound, and this one does wound. So another Storm Shield
1
save.
wound on your warlord. And finally, the Wolf
Fate is
Lord goes.
Gets
What was
killed by
that?
a
Fate is inexorable.
Fate is inexorable. Gets killed by a birdie with a bow and arrow.
That's just doesn't seem right to me. And then 2 shots into
2
Nigel.
hits,
3s to wound him.
2 wounds.
Okay.
-1.
2 4-up saves.
+1 because the cover.
Yeah. Okay. 2 3-up saves. He takes a wound, but he stands firm for now. I think he's about to get charged by some Terminators.
I think that's all the shooting I've got.
Okay, so we'll now move on to the charge phase. Okay, starting off the charge phase, Terminators charging through some obstacles. You half this. So they're making a 9 half round. That's 4.5 inch charge into Nigel. We'll do some Overwatch actually. Oh, you're chucking a grenade?
Crack grenade.
Okay. He misses. So the Terminators make it into combat with the Lieutenant down here. Mildred the Shaman failed the charge, but her brothers and sisters managed to get through. These guys are charging. They're in a crater, basically Snake Eyes, and it's a fail. So that is a 0-inch charge.
But I'd have to be within
because
an inch.
it's -2. So they don't manage to charge into that guy. It's amazing. Yeah.
Watch.
Okay. Grenade. Misses. And it's the same thing over here with the spawn, actually, because they're going through a crater, so Snake Eyes would be a fail. And they make it into the Wolfen. So we're starting with a spawn, and you roll a dice to see what now?
See what ability they get and how many attacks they get.
Okay.
So the ability is... I'm now AP -4, which is fairly useless against their Storm Shield. But
yes.
I'm AP -4.
AP
and
-4.
the number of attacks I get is 3 each. Plus Shock Assault, they're going to have 4 attacks each, so that's 16 attacks.
So the spawn, 16 attacks, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s, because there's an Exalted Sorcerer within 6 inches. Strength 5 versus Toughness 5 on the Wolfen, forced to wound. Now AP -4 would have been very useful, but they have Storm Shields. 2 damage apiece, so each failed save will kill a Wolfen. 2 have got Storm Shields though, so he passes, dies down to the last Storm Shield.
Feel no pain.
Oh yeah, 2 feel no pains, you're right.
Thank you.
Okay, he's still alive.
So
3 up in but.
No, he's dead because he filled 1. He's only got 1 wound left.
Is he?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so he dies.
Yep.
3 more 3 up invulnerable saves, maybe. He's alive. He's feel no pain. He's still alive, and 1 more 3 up invulnerable save. Okay, so that happened, and then Wolf and Die, they get to fight back, right?
They do, yeah.
So before you remove a Wolfen model, he gets to activate and fight. So he's got 4 attacks with Shock Assault. Is this guy with a hammer?
Yes.
So he's hitting on 3s, because he's a Space Wolf. He's wounding on 2s, Strength 10, Toughness 5.
AP is...
AP -3, 3 damage.
3 damage and I just lose 1.
Because they're 4 wounds each.
4 wounds each.
So it smushes 1 into oblivion. Then we'll get back to this fight, because we've still got charging units to do. We have a chunk of Terminators charging in against Najal. But Starless is going to fight with the Zangors on the discs first. So
one's an AV with 2, one's a regular guy with 2 discs.
Okay.
The same rules apply with auto wounding.
Okay.
So they've all hit and 5 have auto wounded.
Right. And okay.
So these auto wounded and these will wound on a toughness 4.
Yes.
So 1 more wound. There's no AP. So 3
No AP.
No AP.
Okay. He's got 4 wounds left, and he tanks all of them.
And the spinning blades of their discs completely miss.
Okay.
Right, let's go back to the Terminators.
Here's all the swords from the Terminators hitting on 3s.
Not a death to the False Emperor moment.
No death to the... Yeah, 6s would have exploded.
Yeah.
Never mind. Their power swords, are they strength 4?
Strength 4.
So wounding on 4s, but these are all AP -3.
2, 3...
5 wounds get through. He's got 4 left. He needs to make at least 2 6s to stay alive. And Nigel's thread has been cut short. This is the way his saga ends. And then the Terminators power forward, making sure that they're surrounding this Wolfen objective here. And then we're going to fight versus the pod in the middle.
You wound the pod.
It does wound.
-1 on the pod.
Finally do a wound on the pod.
Yes, die pod.
D3 wounds on the pod.
Yes.
Because it's a 4 stave.
2 wounds on the pod.
Okay, the pod's got 6 wounds left. Meanwhile, the Wolfen are going to strike the spawn. So the Wolfen pack leader with a pair of Frost Claws has got 6 attacks with Shock Assault. He hits on 2s. He is a Space Wolf. Strength 6, he's wounding on 3s. And re-rolling, because that's what Frost Claws do. And these are all AP -2. 1 damage, so no save on the spawn. He manages to put 5 wounds, killing a spawn, and putting 1 down to 3 wounds left, which is interesting because the Thunderhammer guy, he does a flat 3 wounds, and he's got 4 attacks. You've got the dice, and he hits on 3s because he's a Space Wolf. He only hits once. Ooh. He will kill this spawn on the 2 though, and he smashes it into oblivion.
So Rhubarb is left alive.
Rhubarb.
Rhubarb the custard.
Rhubarb the former custodian. That's a bit rude, isn't it?
I think actually Rhubarb is going to save my Warlord, because if they are still in combat, they can't fall out and get my Warlord.
Yeah, if he had died,
my Warlord would have been quite exposed.
You'd have been in trouble.
But
okay, that's the end of Thousand Suns, turn 4. So at the end of the Thousand Suns turn, they score a point for Slay the Warlord, making it 5 points to 4 in favour of the Thousand Suns. They've finally got into the lead, and they're securing this objective here. and they're securing the objective on the other side. However, at the start of the Space Wolf's turn, they'll get a point for securing this objective, meaning it's 5 points each. The game is a split draw as we head on to Space Wolf's turn 4. Here we are after the Space Wolf's movement phase, 5 points each. We consolidate a little bit with the wolf in here. And what's happening is you're consolidating around this objective, hoping to score that one in your turn and stop the Thousand Suns scoring a couple. The idea is if the wolf can kill that last remaining spawn and then consolidate 3 inches forward, that one will be denied. So Starless won't be getting that one, but you should be getting these two unless some bad things happen. You've got a combi melter and a melter up there looking at this sorcerer. With lots of careful measuring, and the reason why they're up there and not come around this way is to make sure that they're the closest in range to that character and there are no other units closer, otherwise you can't shoot the character. This chap who fell out of combat last turn looks like he's going to charge in, but more importantly consolidate in towards that objective there and stop the Thousand Suns from scoring it. So potentially the Thousand Suns should only get this objective here at the start of their turn, maybe. We've done some firepower already, some storm bolters rippling out, doing no damage. Now we're on to the melter, combi melter, going into the Lord.
Yep, so I'll roll both at the same time.
Yep.
3's to hit. And
they both miss. Over here with the Sakaran, it's shooting what are the birds on the discs?
Heavy bolters into the birds.
Okay, 3's to hit. And 3's to wound. And they have a 5-up invulnerable save. 5 wounds get through. They have 2 wounds each though. Ooh, but they're dead. And then 8 shots from the twin accelerator autocannon are going to thread through the gap of the ruin there into these guys in the middle, deciding that even if you threw all the firepower into the Terminators here, it's probably not enough gun to remove them off that objective. Trying to reduce the units coming after the objective in the middle of the battle grid. These will hit on 3s. And they're also wounding on 3s. It's AP -1 but 2 damage, so all of dust doesn't kick in. So 3s to wound.
-3.
That's a minus,
and that's a -3.
So
yeah.
this is my 5-up invuln.
Yep.
And this would be on a 3-up coming cover.
Yes.
So 3-up first. No. 5-up invuln. No.
Okay. 2 die there. And that's the end of the very quick shooting phase. So little assets left now. Now this Wolf Guard is going to try and charge in to the sorcerer right in front of him. Don't roll snake eyes. No, you don't roll snake eyes. It turns out to be a 5-inch charge. He will get in there. And the Wolfen are already engaged up this side of the battle grid. So we're going to start here with this fight. He's got 3 attacks on the charge and he hits on 2s because he is a Space Wolf. So 2 hits, he'll wound on 4s. Both wound.
All his dust because he's no AP.
Yep.
Damage 1, so 2s. I'm okay.
And he manages to stand firm. That's it for the charging units. We're across here to the Wolfen attacking the last spawn.
Stand firm, Mubab. You are a custody.
So we've got 5 attacks from the pack leader with his Prayer of Frost Claws. He hits on 3s because he's not charging now. And he's going to be wounding on 3s, re-rolling the wound because that's what Frost Claws do. Re-rolling the wound.
Good job. That's better.
AP minus
-1.
-1.
So you need 6s on these guys.
1-6. That's 1 wound.
Okay, and then the Thunder Hammer with 3 attacks will hit on 4s now because you're not charging. And they all come crashing down. We'll kill this spawn on a 2. It's a very important roll. The spawn is wiped out, which means the Wolfen get to consolidate 3 inches and contest that objective. And that stops the Thousand Suns scoring that at the start of their turn. Now, Hateful Assault, the sorcerer in the middle, against this Wolf Guard. He hits once. He will wound on a 3.
He does wound.
You have a 3-up invulnerable save with your Storm Shield. And he dies. Calamity. Absolute calamity. That is the end of Space Wolf's turn in turn 4. No morale to take anywhere. It was 5 points each. But at the start of the battle round, battle round 5, you're going to start scoring some points. So we need to see where this one moves. Because if it wanders that way, you will guarantee this thing. So Stylus rolls a 2 And that means you get to move it 3 inches.
I'll take it 3 inches.
Which means that's no longer contested. At the start of your turn, you'll get a point. We'll roll for this one here. A 5 and a 2. You get to pull this one away from the Space Wolves lines, but I don't think you're going to get it far enough away from them to stop them scoring it. You're automatically going to be scoring this one here, but let's roll. What did you get? 6 and a 6. That one stays still and you're OBSEC. And then this Wolfen down here, 1,000 Suns get a 1.
4.
Space Wolves get a 4. And so it was 5 points each. And at the start of turn 5, which we're about to head into, the 1,000 Suns. Oh, let's do the. I see the dice in your hand. 4. You get a command point back at the start of turn 5. And it was 5-5. You'll get a point at the start of your turn for that objective, a point at the start of your turn for that objective, and a point at the start of your turn for that objective, making it 8 points to 5 as we head into 1,000 Suns, turn 5. 8 points to 5 in the 1,000 Suns turn movement phase. The Terminators, Scarab Occult, head down towards the Sakaran, and the Shaman is holding on to this objective here. The 1,000 Suns move up and consolidate this objective here. And then the Sorcerer and Terminator armor advance that way. And we're going to have multiple smites coming out into the 2 remaining Wolfen on this flank. Now we're moving on to the Psychic phase. And we come back across to this side of the battle grid. You're doing a what now?
Cult of Duplicity.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this on a 7. He will catapult across the battlefield. I've got an extra command point, so why not use it?
Okay.
That goes off on a 9. So now he comes up and lands all the way over here.
What are you doing?
In the enemy lines.
Yes.
He can also try a cheeky smite on Bjorn, but he is now line breaking because he's been very duplicitous.
I'll have you know that's not Bjorn, that's the Murderfang.
Sorry, one Space Wolf is much the same as another. So he can try and smite Murderfang, which he does.
And he's got 1 wound left.
Yes.
So he is dead. Does he explode, sir?
Let's hope so.
He doesn't explode, but Murderfang gets smitten out of existence. Then we're coming round here to the Warlord, smiting into the Wolfen. And that passes. D3 mortal wounds for 3. So 3, 5 up, feel no pains. They feel pain. One of them falls, one's left with 1 wound, and then you've got the second smite through the window. Which works. D3 for 1. 1, 5 up to keep this unit alive.
Come on, boys.
And it stands firm. Then the one on the right, put Diabolic Strength on your Warlord, and then you try to warp time forward to take on the Wolfen.
Yep.
And you failed that, which means you're still holding on to that objective at least, and if the Wolfen charges you, you're diabolically strong. This chap hasn't got an invulnerable save anymore.
Let's shoot him.
Oh, you're going to shoot him. Is that the end of the Psychic phase?
That is the end of the Psychic. Well, there's some small smites, but that's incidental.
Okay, you hit and you wound.
-2.
Right. You're in the crater, so -1. What does that save normal?
4 up normally.
Okay, so 5 up. Which you pass. He stands firm. The pack leader will not bend. Then we come across here.
They'll charge the Sakaran.
Yes, we'll do some Overwatch in a second, but they make the charge. One of the Terminators died to Overwatch as they charged into the Sakaran. We had a charge on the pod, so the pod is completely locked down. Now you're trying to get a cheeky charge over here with the Diabolic Strength anyway. Try and get into the last Wolfen.
Although that would take me into range of melters, so maybe he'll just...
Yes, there are melters here.
Life over here.
So he'll just stay there and hold on to the objective.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll come back to here to Power Swords, smacking against the Sakaran, and they're probably not going to do very much because it's toughness 7. And they took a couple of wounds off the Sakaran. It's got 7 left. It didn't do any damage back, and the pod's still alive as well. So it's got 2 wounds left, and that is the end of 1,000 Suns turn 5. It is 8 points to 5. We're about to go on to Space Wolves turn 5, and they'll get a point for holding on to this objective here, making it 8-6. In the Space Wolves turn, the Sakaran backs out of close combat here. And Brother Ranulf is holding on to this objective, and the Space Wolves that were there can move through walls. They've piled into the ruin to try and get the sorcerers on the other side. And in the game-changing move, the last of the Wolfen, the pack leader, is going to try and slay the Warlord, because not only will that be a point for slay the Warlord, but if we go to game turn 6, then you'll be on that objective here. He'll have to withstand a smite, however. So let's go on to the shooting phase. 1 minute, there's no shots. These guys don't have grenades. The sergeant fell out of, this Karen fell out of combat. We've got some shots, we found some shots. And these guys are charging the sorcerers on the other side who are in combat, so they can't shoot into combat. But yeah, Brother Ranulph's got his Stormbolter, and he hits once. And he wounds, but they have a 2-up save, they're Terminators. He scratches one of them. If it bleeds, we can kill it. So now we're on to the charge phase. We need a 3-inch charge to get from here to the guys who are assaulting the pod.
Come on, be nice, be nice.
And they make it in. And then over here, the last wolf and pack leader, we have a grenade. Oh, and the grenade hits! It will wound on a 3. And it wounds and it's -1. 5-up save to keep your pack leader alive.
What are you doing?
No, D3 mortal wounds. Mortal wounds, D3 wounds. 3 5-up. Feel no pains. This was a game-changing charge. 5s.
Oh.
But instead, the Warlord of the Thousand Suns unpins a grenade, blows this guy up and holds on to the subjective and says, "You shall not pass." Okay, so from there to this assault, the Space Wolves charging through in the ruin, in the centre. There's a chunk of them with chainswords, hitting on 2s. And wounding on 4s. And the Thousand Suns get a 2-up save because of All is Dust.
All is dust.
And you kill 1, and then you've got the pack leader with his power sword. So he's got 3 attacks on the charge, and he hits on 2s. And he'll wound on 4s. No wounds. Leaving 1 in that squad left alive, the sorcerer. He strikes back and hits
the false emperor.
Oh dear. Okay, he hits 4 times. Is this a 4 stave as well?
It's a 4 stave.
3's to wound.
All wizards carry staffs.
3 wounds at -1. So 3 4-up saves. So the Space Wolves kill 1 and take 1 in return. And that is the end of turn 5. Then they pile in. Now, before we go to battle round 6 and start doing all the shenanigans and find out where these objectives end up, we need to find out whether the world ends or not. And you went first.
I went first.
So on a 1-2, it would be 1,000 Suns of Victory.
For Zinch.
And this is the way the world ends. So it's actually a 9-6 victory for the Thousand Suns because they're line breaking back here. I think if it had gone on to turn 6, then we'd have had some more. Well, you'd have scored that one if that hadn't have wandered off, but potentially that could have wandered off and you not scored it.
Yeah.
And potentially that could have wandered this way and you not scored that either.
Yes.
So you could have got 0 points there.
Yes.
Potentially.
Yeah.
They outnumber you next to that one there, and they're on potentially the Space Wolves could have pulled it back in turn 6 if it had gone to turn 6, but that was not the will of Zinch, I'm afraid.
Sadly, not today. I think the turning point for me was the double Zig Bang. Like taking out 4 Wolfen in one double explosion.
And a Land
Land Raider.
Yeah.
A hole opening up in reality and swallowing many people into the pits of hell. Yeah, that can be game changing. It turned out to be game changing.
It's an interesting scenario with this. You've got to work out where you're going to be when the next battle round begins, and going first, second. It's a scratcher.
It was a bit of a brain melt. Yeah, you're absolutely right, because at the start of the battle round, the stuff moves around, but you score at the start of your turn. So you had to plan a turn ahead. As I said on camera, I think it wasn't just so much about figuring out where you're going to be, it's figuring out where the opponent's going to be and denying them the point as well. So I think Monkey got the jump on you by going ahead, and then you got your head round it a bit quicker. But there were some game-changing moments there, which meant that the Thousand Suns actually managed to pull it out of the bag. But we all know who won back in the day, right? We know who won that day.
Whose planet is still... Oh,
yours
is on fire, sorry.
Maybe we should read Psychic Awakening for and find out what's happened to
sure it's fine, everything is fine. So little meeting with the dog.
Everything's good.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine, nothing to see here. Yeah, Magnus did plenty wrong, I'm afraid.
But that was a big one, I think, for the new cults. There were a lot of things there that happened because I was able to use the Cult of Duplicity and the Cult of Time.
Like firing twice with the Terminators with rapid fire
That was a
weapons.
stratagem, so that's a nice new thing. The fact getting him over there, bouncing, there's a lot of bouncing things around.
Because of the new...
That was the Cult of Duplicity, Psychic Discipline.
Right, okay.
The
standing backup Terminators.
I recovered 2 Terminators there. I recovered more.
And they're like 30, 40 points.
Yeah.
So getting them back up, that's nothing to be sniffed at.
And I think once they stood back up, they really hosed down my characters as well.
Yes, yeah.
So what was it like fighting against the Thousand Suns one more time, Monkey?
So I think first time we played, it was a draw.
Honourable draw.
Second time we played, I got my pants pulled down.
Honourable spanking.
So I think this time I'm pleased with this. I think we fought a good fight.
Yeah.
There's a saga.
Taking down 2 Mutalith Vortex Beasts in 1 round of combat. I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, 1 round of combat, you wiped out all these Angos here with ease, you wiped them out with ease. That stratagem which kicks in place for the Thousand Suns and the Space Wolves, that is absolutely devastating, particularly with a chaplain nearby or chaplain equivalent.
I think it benefits Space Wolves more because they don't get it at all. I'm just turning a 6 into a 4. And
Yeah.
they are so much better at fighting. It turns the 6 up into the 4, exploding everywhere.
Yeah. And it stacks up as well with my Hunters Unleashed, so I get a +1 to it, so it explodes on 3s for non-Thunder Hammers. So, but again, you're the only person I can use the stratagem against.
Yeah,
it's the only Thousand Suns player I know, so so apologies if I've used her a lot.
Only works on Thousand Suns. But a new hero was born as well, Nargel, the Wolfguard battle leader.
Yeah, he's under the rubble somewhere. They can just sweep it aside, pick him up.
He's earned a name. We've been calling him Nigel all the way along. You're going to have to make a specific Space Wolfie name for him.
Yeah, and don't forget, I think he was fighting for the right to include Primaris.
Yeah.
In the very in my force. So
did he earn that right?
I think he did.
I think he did.
Yeah.
He did all right.
You'll need a bit of recruitment because you're missing a few bodies now. So
he was buffing stuff. He kept with your Wolf Lord. He was holding his own. He was helping you on this flank. I think it would have been a different fight if he wasn't around.
I think every warlord needs a little helper whispering in their ears, giving them advice.
But then I do think just a normal battle leader would probably have done the job as well.
Probably would have. Yeah, I think he did well. He did well.
He did very well.
We'll give him a shot next time.
So I think we'll wrap it up. This battle map brought to you by GameMap.eu. This is a battle map from them. This is also from GameMap.eu, all this scenery here. These two brought to you by car over the M4 bridge, over the River Severn,
From the big country.
from the land of the Red Dragon. And if you'd like to support us, please consider subscribing to deploymentzone.tv, helping us make more battle reports just like this one. I really appreciate you two guys coming down here. That was fun. It was less brain-meltingly difficult for me just to film and have fun and, mainly take the piss out of Monkey.
I've been the comedy heel today. So if ever you've seen watched wrestling when you were a kid and the hero would fight a guy in generic black pants,
yeah.
That's me.
You were the Black Pants wrestler.
With a new codex, I know I was here to take a beating. So hopefully, when Space Wolves get the new shiny gubbins, perhaps we can come back.
There we go.
There we go. So, Thousand Suns, more tricksy than ever. Happy wargaming.